The Pillaging Podcast consists of 4 members, Kenny, Kane, Che, and Bobby Wasabi. A-E-I-O-U. And sometimes Y.
You're listening to the Pillaging Podcast, proud member of the Crow's Nest Podcast Network, companion podcast to PJ4F.com, the #1 podcast in Raider Nation. Tune in every week wherever podcasts are found. Call in and leave a message to be played on air at 408-909-PJFF. This episode is brought to you by DC4L Custom Tees. Check them out at DC4LCustomTees.com. It's time to pillage another podcast. I'm your host, Kenny Stapler. Bobby, Che, what's good?
Oh man, well, we are back in the studio. We got ourselves another chela for yo asses. Hit him with that, man. Hit him with that button.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna hit him with that fresh crack.
Yeah.
Oh,
double crack.
Oh yeah. Oh, let's see what we got here. This right here is the Left Hand Brewing Company from Longmont, Colorado. Ooh. And this is called the White Russian. It's a stout with coffee and vanilla added.
I've been to Longmont, Colorado.
And it's a nitro. So, you've been to Longmont, Colorado?
I've been out there, dog.
No shit.
Small little town.
Tell us a little bit about it, bro.
There ain't really much to tell you.
Dude, the pouring of it is actually...
That shit looks like turkey gravy, though.
Look at that.
That looks like turkey chicken gravy right there.
Look at that. And it's still going, bro.
It's a nitro. It's a nitro, so...
The beer is the same color as the can. That's like a butterscotch looking. It looks like the 49ers pants is what you're drinking right now. I picked the right month to stop drinking.
The 49ers pants, bro.
All I know is that this chela looks very, very nice, man. And it pours out very smooth.
Let's see.
Not only that, too, but, you know, how I said it's a White Russian. It's funny because even right here, you can actually see the pin right there. So I'm pretty sure it's a shout out to the dude right there.
That is definitely shout out
to the dude,
to the Lebowski.
Listen, and so real quick, let's get to the nitty gritty here. Mm-hmm. We got a 8.9 ABV on this bad boy. It's smooth, it's sweet, it's got a little sweetness to it, but you got a little bit of that potency. You taste it on the back end. And then it's 20 IBUs, so it's not very bitter, right?
How hard is it hitting?
It's hitting. It's got some.
What's that percentage on there?
8.9, bro.
All right,
8.9. So
it's very, very sneaky, man.
Yeah, it sneaks up on you.
You underestimate my sneakiness.
You underestimate my sneakiness.
Sneaky.
This is delicious, man. It's smooth. Man. I mean, it's kind of like it's almost like a cream soda, bro.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
It's like a fucking cream soda, bro.
Off of the first just taste, I was like, "Yo, this honestly reminded me of those orange, the orange cream sodas, man, or like the popsicles. You know how I had like the orange ones, like with the cream inside. Yeah, those right there, man.
For me, this is like a fucking alcoholic A&W cream soda, right here.
Wow.
Certified.
Yeah.
Would you?
It's good. Not as sweet, obviously. Not as much sugar.
Would you buy it again?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I got 2 more in the fridge at home, and I will be seeing those later today.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Welcome to the show, everybody. We start the show off every week by cracking a beer, and that's just a reminder that you should too.
Yep.
I know there's a lot of folks out there like, just get to the football already. Hey, fast forward, dog.
Hey, motherfuckers, it's the off season.
Hey, football? Just in case you're joining us for the first time, I know we got a lot of new listeners coming on board in the off season here. Look for some good Raiders talk. We're going to give that to you, about 3 hours of it every single week. And we run this like a radio show, man. Most radio shows 2 to 4 hours long, and you tune in at any given time. You might hear some sports talk, you may hear some banter, and we got both for y'all. So hopefully we do you good, and welcome aboard. Welcome, start to pillage with us. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
You can follow us on Twitter at Pillaging Pod, at Kenny Stapler, at Che_PJ4F, at Kane MT6, at Bobby Wasabi 4080, and of course you can follow the whole clique at CNPodNet. Tonight's guest is BD Williams, currently writing for Silver and Black Pride, although with Silver and Black Pride changing its format and SB Nation basically doing the dirty. I'll let BD Williams let you know what that's all about. He's looking for a new home, so he's going to wind up somewhere else. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about that. But I'm a big fan of BD's work. I want to ask him if the BD stands for Billy D. I want to know.
Yo.
But he's great. He does the film cut-ups, film analyst. He does his mock drafts. He does a lot of good writing. Yeah, you've heard us talk about his articles on the show before, so we're really excited to have him on the show tonight. Give him some love and follow him on Twitter. He'll reset his Twitter handle and all that for you when he comes on here in the first segment. Obviously, merchandise plugs. We got to give that to you, One Nation Fanwear. I'm always rocking the hat, OneNationFanwear.com. Go on and support Just Win Johnny over there. Of course, DC40 Custom Tees brings you the episode every week. All that fan gear and more. He'll do custom designs for you as well. If you got a design you want to put it on a product, go to DC40CustomTees.com. A big shout out once again to Sean136, who set up some medicated salsas over to us last week.
Oh yeah.
Smacking. I see you guys got home safe and got back safe.
Yes, we did.
We appreciate that.
Tasty.
Sean, Dragon Dave's medicated sauces. If you're listening now, man, send over some more. What I want to know is, if your name's Sean, who's Dave? Where's Dave at, man? I want to talk to Dave too. And shout out to the Raider Ramble, RaiderRamble.com. Always supports us. You hear a lot of their writers on the show. One of the top independent Raiders news sites out there, so check them out. Tonight's show, as I mentioned before, BD Williams coming on the air with us. We got your quick hits. That's Raiders news from the week. We talk about a little bit about Lamar Houston retiring. We'll talk about Nnamdi Asomugha getting a starring role on Broadway.
There you go.
We'll talk about some off-season rumors. We're going to go light on the Brady stuff. We've been studying that pretty hard for you the last couple of weeks. I know some of y'all's ears are burning when we talk about that, so we'll give you guys a break off of that. What else we got in the quick hits this week before we get there? We'll talk about Allegiant Stadium. There's a stadium update. Tom Flores speaking out on his Hall of Fame snub.
Okay.
And we got a Matt McGloin update for you. So we got a little XFL news too.
Yeah.
Also, we continue our GROAT segment, the greatest Raider of all time.
Yeah, goddamn right.
We gave you the first bracket rankings last week. Those were the big nasties on offense. This week we focus on the big nasties on defense. And of course, I will probably have to remind you several times throughout the show, if you don't hear a name that should be on the list, be patient. We got 2 more brackets to rank, so there's a lot of Raider players in this, 64 names in total. So chances are, if there's a guy that you think should be in this bracket, he will be, with the exception of Don Mosbar, as Raider Roo pointed out. And Raider Roo, you're absolutely right. Maybe the crew will swap out Penn for Mosbar. We'll see. And of course, at the end of the show, we'll have your phone calls and all that good stuff. But let's get right to it, man. We got some quick hits. You ready?
Yeah, boy.
Lamar Houston signs a 1-day contract to retire as a Raider. He had a few workouts in 2018, but his career essentially ended after the 2017 season. Houston, though, hadn't officially retired. He did that Wednesday, signing a 1-day deal with the Raiders. He finished his career with 100 games, 71 starts, 302 tackles, 30 and a half sacks, 76 quarterback hits, an interception, and 5 forced fumbles. What'd you guys think about that move? It was a classy move?
Yeah. I mean, I think it was a right way for him to definitely walk away from the game, right? And the fact that he said he went on and said, like, my best seasons in the NFL were with the Raiders. And I take a lot of pride in being one of the last hand-picked guys by Al Davis.
Yeah.
So he did it right, man. He did it right. And you know what? Lamar Houston was one of those guys that I think we all liked when he was here.
We did.
We all appreciated his like tenacity, his fire. Like he wasn't the most outstanding, the greatest defensive lineman that we've ever had, but he played his ass off.
He did.
And when we saw him go, it was kind of sad to see him go.
And that was really like a cap casualty, right?
Yeah,
we were in cap hell at that time. So
absolutely,
it's a cool move by Lamar. He moved around to several teams. Can't really say that he belonged to any one team. So for him to come back to the team where it started just makes a whole lot of sense, right, Bobby?
It definitely does, because like you said, it's all about that legacy, man. Mm-hmm. And especially now that we're moving to a whole new home and everything is changing, I mean, hey, why not do it right like that and actually, finish off his career? I honestly didn't know you had to announce your retirement before you're actually considered like gone from the NFL.
Yeah.
That was new on me. I just figured like, hey, you stop playing, like, okay, cool, you're done. But I had no idea you had to like announce it and whatnot.
Yeah. Can't just disappear.
He's just like, he's gonna be like, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah,
10 years later.
Yeah. Well,
going out for a pack of smokes and some milk.
10 years later,
that's what I would do, man.
By the way, I forgot to mention, I was going to retire.
By the way, guys, retired. It's 2030. We get it.
Yeah, man.
But pretty cool stuff. But Lamar Houston, man, you'll be missed. It was nice to have you as a Raider, and a classy move retiring as a Raider. I like that.
Absolutely.
I like that. All right, let's keep it moving.
Yeah, boy.
Nmamdi's on Broadway. Yeah. Shout out to Che. That was your idea, dog.
That was a good idea, man.
But you pulled it off, though. You pulled it off.
Hey,
though, dog.
we got it in there. Nmamdi Asamoah, who has been out of the NFL since 2013, is set to star in a Broadway play with Jerry O'Connell, Blair Underwood, and David Alan Grier. David Alan Grier?
David Alan Grier from
I like that.
Yeah. You know,
Living
from
Color.
Living Color, bro.
Fucking A.
Like here go.
Also lesser his one of his lesser roles was as Pam from Martin's it was her cousin, Reverend.
Oh, that's right.
Lonnie Lovejoy or something like that.
Man.
Lonnie Love.
Everybody was on that show. The name of the show is A Soldier's Play. Nmamdi will play the role of Class Melvin Peterson, which was originally portrayed by Denzel Washington when the play hit Broadway in 1981. Asamoah is not a first-time actor. He's got 11 acting credits since 2008, according to IMDb. He has appeared in episodes of The Game, Friday Night Lights, Leverage, Cubed, and Kroll Show. I watched Kroll Show. I didn't even know he was in there. He also appeared in Fire with Fire, Internet Cops with Nmamdi Asamoah. Interesting. Double Negative, Hello, My Name is Doris, Crown Heights, and Sylvia's Love. No cap, but I have not heard of more than half of those shows. But Nmamdi's out there doing his thing, man. That's cool. This story right here was taken from Fox News. Now, we don't live out in New York, but when we were in New York, would you have paid his ticket to see Nmamdi Asamoah on Broadway, Bobby?
I mean, if it guaranteed that he probably signed my jersey, hell yeah, dude. I still got that jersey hanging at the house, man. Yeah, that thing is like a double X when I used to be a big boy, dude. But I mean, hey, shit, as we were talking about, knock out two birds with one stone right there,
Yeah.
Go see a Broadway show and go see X-Raider, man, and possibly get a signature, man.
There you go.
Why not?
There you go. Tell them, hey man, these Broadway tickets ain't fucking cheap, Nmamdi.
Hell yeah, dude.
Hook it up. The least you could do is hook it up with a fucking signature on this jersey.
Least you could do is a signature, a picture, maybe even like a down payment on the car for me. Something, dude. It's like I was there for you, bro.
Right? We love you, man.
Hell
we
yeah.
love you, dog.
It's kind of like a good entry point for fans that Raider fans have never been to Broadway, but maybe that's not your thing. But now there's a do what you want. But now that there's a Raider on Broadway, maybe that's time for you to
see.
Maybe that's your time to get it in.
See, what would have been pretty crazy is had you seen the Goonies on Broadway. Then you would have seen the Twos on Broadway.
Oh, that's right. Huh?
That would have been pretty cool right there, man.
Dope. Goonies on Broadway.
Hey, you guys.
Oh, man.
Yes.
But anyways, Nmamdi Asamoah, you're on Broadway. Get that Tony, dog. Man, that'd be cool if Nmamdi got a Tony, huh?
That'd be fucking dope.
Maybe it doesn't happen though.
We'll see.
Hey,
we'll see.
We'll support you, though.
Who knows, man? I haven't seen what his acting chops are like. So, who knows? Maybe in a couple months from now, you'll be hearing rave reviews about Nmamdi's performance. And hey, man, Kobe won an Oscar and he fucking won a Pulitzer for fucking his novels and shit.
Yeah,
it's not out of athletes' reach to fucking perform elsewhere, bro.
Hey, yeah, he might come out in Cats Part 2 with Idris Elba, bro.
Okay.
That's right. They already made the movie, dog. Nmamdi's probably gonna, bankroll that part too.
Did that damn thing do horribly in the theaters?
It was bad.
Well, how many of these other things have you seen, Che? That Nmamdi's in, bro. I'm just saying.
Cats was a bad example.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm tuning in for Internet Cops with Nmamdi.
There you go.
After this show's over. Anyway, next story.
Yep.
Allegiant Stadium's roof supports are now in place, and everybody was worried about it. The steel cable net system that will support the translucent, that's easy for me to say, ETFE roof of Allegiant Stadium is in place. Contractors working on the project tweeted Friday. The troublesome cable net has been a source of frustration since last summer when it was first stretched across the stadium floor and lifted near the rooftop. After the stress of pulling the cable's top from several nodes lining the roof caused some bolts to break, several teams of engineers analyzed the problem and estimated the roof wouldn't be completed. Members of Raider Nation panicked. Las Vegas Raiders president Mark Bedane confirmed that the net is in place and that the lightweight plastic polymer roof installation would likely begin in March. This story was taken from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Everything looks to be on time and moving according to schedule.
Yep.
No reason to panic.
Nope. Listen, man. So here's the other thing that I was looking at, because as we know, a lot of people have been taking shots at the move to Vegas and the build of the stadium and saying it's not going to happen and throwing all kinds of fucking salt on our shit, right? And, I like my shit well seasoned, but not that much salt, okay? But the bottom line is that...
Che likes that elote.
Yeah, bro. I like that elote with a little bit of fucking salecita, okay? Poquito. But go ahead and look across the way over into LA and take a glance at the stadium that's going up in LA for the Chargers and the Rams. Okay, so that's why
no one cares.
That's why, exactly. Nobody really gives a shit, right? All the attention's on the Raider Stadium. But if you go and look at what's going on over there currently, you're going to be like, that's odd. These stadiums look very similar. If anything, maybe the Raider Stadium looks a little bit more complete.
Really?
And the Chargers and Rams Stadium is supposed to open in July. So, what's up, people? Like, y'all want to fucking hate? Keep on hating and keep on being mad and getting whatever, man. You sat in your pants. It's okay. I get it. But you're going to have to get over it eventually. Take your bitch ass to the fucking stadium and enjoy yourself, because it's happening. It's going to happen.
We need a nickname for that stadium. I know a lot of people calling it the Death Star. There's folks calling it the Black Pearl. DC4L put out a Black Pearl t-shirt. Some people calling it the Owl. I call it Allegiant Stadium. I don't know, man. The Death Star is a cool name, but it looks nothing like the Death Star.
Well, no, it doesn't.
And the Death Star got blown up twice, so I'm kind of like, nah.
But you know what, though? You know what, though? You know what was kind of cool, though? Because they made a big deal about Jonathan Abram calling it
the Death Star. Yeah,
I'm like, where the fuck you been? Raider Nation's been talking about this shit. Jonathan Abram got it from fucking fans. Okay, people have been saying this shit since the start of the build. But in that post they had a picture of the stadium, kind of like, with one of the walls that's kind of slowly is not completed yet, and you kind of got a feel of like the Death Star when it's being reconstructed,
right? Like
that, and I was like, oh shit,
yeah,
it kind of does feel like the Death Star in that picture,
yeah,
just for a second.
I'm gonna go with the Dreadnought, which was the last warship that we've seen in the Star Wars films. It's like the big black Star Destroyer, right? Okay, so I'm gonna go with the Dreadnought for now. That's just me personally, but
that sounds cool. I mean, as long as Mark Davis gets some dreadlocks too. So you could say he's a dreadnought. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
that's the only way I could see it working that way.
That's a reach.
Hey, would it be out of the question to just fucking call the entire stadium the Black Hole?
No, I wouldn't be entirely out of the question.
I mean,
that makes a lot of sense.
Everything.
Right?
Just speaking it from a cosmic sense. I mean, everything does stop and end right there at the black hole.
Yeah. Them boys in 105 might have an issue with it, but I don't have an issue with it.
Listen, this is what I'm saying is the black hole has become synonymous with the Raiders, right? Like everybody knows what you're talking about when you say the black hole.
Yeah.
It's the biggest, most wildest bunch of crazy ass fucking dedicated fans that exist.
Damn right.
Right?
Damn right.
So what better way to fucking like applaud them for fucking their allegiance and the way that they fucking have dedicated themselves and to fucking call the stadium the fucking black hole.
Yeah.
I would say that's like you're complimenting these motherfuckers. Look, you made yourself so relevant. We gotta have to nickname this bitch the Black Hole.
The whole thing. I mean, a lot of people that didn't go to the Oakland Coliseum just called it the Black Hole. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
So, accurate or not, it's synonymous with Raider Nation.
Right.
So
it looks like Vinny over here actually made a very great suggestion.
What does he say?
Call it the Crow's Nest.
Not bad. That would be a cool name for like an upper deck fan section.
Yeah.
Like the Crow's Nest.
Hey.
Yeah.
Now you're thinking. That high end that we'll be affording all the way in the corner. Right. That's the Crow's Nest.
Locking down as a Crow's
Nest. Meet us
nest.
in the Crow's Nest, people. Meet us in the fucking Crow's Nest. Hey, by the way, I think I sent you that little picture, the link of the bricks that they're putting out.
Yeah.
That you could buy a brick and dedicate.
So you could buy those.
You could buy one, right? And they're kind of expensive. Mm-hmm. But imagine having a Pillaging Podcast brick out in front.
That'd be cool.
We're going to start a fucking a GoFundMe. We're going to start a GoFundMe page to get that fucking Pillaging Podcast brick, y'all.
Yo, you know
Let
what?
me know if you're with me.
I'll start selling elotes, bro, just to fucking make that happen, bro. We'll go down to the pulga, bro.
Fucking paletero, churros.
We'll go door to door, bro.
Fucking raspados.
The original Mexican Uber right there, dog. We'll just go to door, hit you up for anything, dog.
Fucking pepino with fucking sal y limon and fucking, I think it's a little fucking, we'll get that fucking mango on a stick. Everything, bro.
Let's parlay this Latin talk into the next story here.
Yeah.
That's a good segue. Tom Flores speaks out on his Hall of Fame snubbing, and ESPN had the story. The headline reads, "How was Tom Flores leapfrogged by Bill Cowher, Jimmy Johnson for the Hall of Fame?" Just exactly how did that happen? Well, we know how it happened. We talked about it last time. We gave our thoughts on why it may have happened.
Yeah.
But when I read this story, I was really, really upset by it. They invited Tom out there. They led him on to believe that he was going to be inducted.
Oh, fuckers.
So
bullshit.
let me find it where it says here, because Flores, who turns 83 on March 21st, said he was told by Hall of Fame president, by the Hall president, David Baker, that he would almost be a shoo-in on the new Blue Ribbon Committee that earmarked spots for two coaches. After being a finalist in a regular ballot voting in 2019, Flores had accepted the invitation thinking he already would be in South Florida, being presented as a Hall of Famer as part of the league's special 20-man centennial class. Instead, Flores, along with legions of supporters, watched in disbelief and dismay 3 weeks prior to the Super Bowl, as first Bill Cowher, he says, "I turned to my wife and I said, I'm bounced out," Flores recalled. And then Jimmy Johnson were welcomed to Canton, Ohio by Baker on their respective CBS and Fox pregame shows. So Tom Flores sitting there thinking this is the year. He's watching some pregame on TV, sees two coaches right in front of his face get inducted, and then finds out this is all for nothing.
Fucking bullshit.
That's a burn. That's a huge burn. If they just left my man in the dark and he kind of put two and two together, cool. But to tell him, hey, dude, you're almost a shoo-in. We got 2 spots earmarked for coaches. You were finally, hey, you be ready. And then, nah. You know what I mean? And what sucks is Johnson and Cowher, they deserve it. They're younger, though. They're around. They're working. They're in the spotlight. There's no rush on those guys.
Right.
Tom Flores is 83 years old, bro. Now he seems to be in good health. I'm not trying to wish any harm or any bad luck on Flores. But
absolutely.
Furthermore, Cliff Branch. We lost Cliff Branch this year, and we thought that would make him a shoo-in, just based on the pattern that we've been seeing. He gets snubbed too. So this is really, really rough. Speaking with multiple sources with knowledge of what occurred in the room where the 25-member Blue Ribbon Committee made its secret ballot selections, a few factors were at play. For one, the makeup of the special committee sapped momentum Flores had a year earlier because only 13 of the 25 panel members were regular Hall selectors. The other 12 were an assortment of coaches, executives, and Hall of Famers such as Belichick, Dick LeBeau, Ozzie Newsome, Carl Peterson, and Bill Polian. There were a different dynamic in that room, one source said, talking about the 12 newcomers having little to no context of previous discussions. Also, another source said that when the finalists were whittled down from 15 to 10 in 2019, selectors were told that a special category for coaches would be set up in 2020. The inference being that cutting Flores and Don Coryell at that stage would be easier to digest since they would be up for consideration a year later. So that's some good news that they are trying to create a special category just for coaches that would open up some extra slots. But Tom, I mean, the way you did him this year, he's gonna have a bitter taste in his mouth for a while now. You better get him in next year. For another, Flores on the coaches ballot and the late Cliff Branch on the seniors ballot had issues with the representation when the names come up for discussion. Frank Cooney of the Sports Exchange, who reps the Raiders when they have finalists, was ill and unable to make the trip to Canton for the meeting, while Branch's case was taken up by former Raiders executive Ron Wolf, a Hall of Famer in his own right. Flores was represented by former ESPN NFL insider John Clayton, a huge advocate of Flores, who also, as luck would have it, presented both Coryell and Cower. Raiders Hall of Fame coach John Madden, a member of the Blue Ribbon panel, did not fly to Canton either. Rather, he listened in on a conference call, and sources said he had trouble with his phone connection and did not weigh in much, if at all, for Flores or Branch. So technical issues as well. Flores says, I don't know. It happened. What can I do about it? I don't have a choice. My fans are still my fans. They're still going to make a lot of noise. A lot of people are really pissed off about this whole thing. A lot of people are pissed off for other guys that didn't make it either. I can't say I'm exclusive in that respect. Yeah, it's a rough one, man. I mean, I like the idea of opening up this thing for the coaches. I don't think that needed to happen to get Tom Flores in. I think you could have done it and should have done it this year.
Yep.
It's a travesty. It's a travesty.
No, it's messed up because they didn't have to tell him anything. They didn't have to tell him the whole "you're a shoo-in." It's gonna happen. If they were gonna keep him out, then just keep him out. Don't say nothing. Don't get him pumped up because, like you said, man, he's of a older age now, and last thing you want to do is try to give the dude like some sort of like weird health thing or something like that just because you freaked him out or whatever, and because you didn't even have the balls to actually tell him, hey, it's not gonna happen. No, he heard about it through TV.
Yeah.
How fucked up is that, man? Straight up. And it really pisses me off because the NFL has done this a lot to Tom Flores, man, and it for all these lame commercials, for all this Latino, like whatever the hell, dude, it's just a bunch of BS, man. And it goes to show again and again, dude. I mean, we've said it before. They always talk about the first minority coach. It's not Tom Flores, according to the NFL. And it's like, do you guys even pay attention? And then what the hell is all this about? Do you have people that don't even know? You just said it right there in that article about how people don't even know about conversations. They're not paying attention. They haven't paid attention to the past. All they had know is just that short attention span, that little bit of history that they've seen in the last 10, 15 years, and that's all they're going with. And they're just completely neglecting the people that actually deserve to be on there. It's a giant piss off, honestly.
Yep,
it is. They even cite in the article that this might have been a bit of a hangover with several Raiders getting in the last few years. They wanted to pump the brakes on Raiders going in this year. That's a bullshit statement.
Fuck those writers. Let me just say that. Fuck those writers.
Cliff Branch's sister, Lane Anderson, told ESPN.com she planned to have a joint Hall of Fame party for her late brother and Tom Flores. Clifford loved Tom Flores, and Tom Flores had been pushing Clifford's name for the Hall of Fame. Anderson said before the class was announced, "It saddens me that Flores was overlooked." A year after waiting as a Hall of Fame finalist in Atlanta hotel room for a knock that never came, Flores was hurt by a lack of phone call this time around, one that would have told him not this time, not this year. Instead, he watched on TV as Cower and Johnson were feted, announcements that also stunned veteran selectors, sources said. With the Centennial class seen as Flores' best hope done, Flores goes back into a system that pits coaches versus players on a modern era ballot where selectors usually side with the player. First-year eligibles next year include Woodson, Peyton Manning, and Calvin Johnson. So that's tough competition right there. But there might be hope on the horizon. As mentioned, the Hall is contemplating adding a separate category just for coaches this summer, as it did for seniors and contributors, according to a source. If it happens, it's a matter of next year or a few years for Tom, the source said, adding that Mike Holmgren might be Flores' biggest competition going forward. Also bullshit.
The fuck out of here.
Holmgren doesn't have half the rings that Flores does. Until then, Flores, the first in league history to win Super Bowl rings as a player and assistant and head coach, later joined by Hall of Famer Mike Ditka, is content to play host to small gatherings on Super Bowl Sunday, like he did on February 2nd while rocking a familiar red piece of clothing. "I wore the jersey I had on 50 years ago," he said with a laugh, "and it fit." How about that? So Tom Flores wearing his Chiefs jersey on Super Bowl Sunday. Hey, the man has a right to it. I don't want to think about it. But he was a Chief, so hey, give it up for him. If the Raiders were in, he put his Raider jersey right back on after that game. So.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so that's what it is about Tom Flores. We know what you guys think about that. We're all pissed. Anyways, let's keep it moving. I got one more quick hit for you guys.
Yeah, boy.
Matt McGloin playing in the XFL for the New York Guardians At halftime during his game where the Guardians were down, I think they got shut out today, right?
Yep.
At halftime to Deanna ESPN, we need to change the whole entire game plan. Called out his head coach, the entire coaching staff. They then went over to head coach Kevin Gilbride. I need to go talk to him and figure out what the problem is because he needs to play better. You know what? That was halftime. Third quarter comes out. McGloin had his chance to prove the coaching staff wrong. Gets in there, under center, drops back. Bam! Pick six.
Sounds about right. Unfortunately, sounds about right.
Somebody said in the chat earlier, Matt McGloin telling us what we already knew.
Yeah, basically. I was watching that. I was like, man, New York definitely was wishing there was last week right now.
Yeah, man.
Because they definitely were hiding a lot of their mistakes back then, and I was like, that once they went into a real defense, they just got murked.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, it definitely. I felt a little bad for McGloin, and I was like, "Oh, look, he's trying."
You just gave him that look that you said you gave that fucking Niner fan with the lanyard.
It was like that. But I was like, "Oh man, you're trying, and you're getting mad."
He's pobrecito, pobrecito.
That's your quick hits for the week. It's been a slow news week, but we squeezed the stone, and we got some golden nuggets out of it. We got some diamonds, I thought. So just keeping you guys in the loop here in the off season. We will be getting into draft talk. A lot of people asking for that. We'll get into that in March. We got a whole month and a half just about leading up to the NFL draft. And it's looking like, you know what? My lady hits me up the other day. She's like, I want to go visit my sister in Vegas in April because her sister lives out there. I was like, well, the draft is in Vegas in April. She's like, when is that? So I told her, she's like, we should go.
Yeah.
I love you, baby. I love you so much. So I may be out there after all. We'll see. Draft is Thursday through Saturday though. So
it's a long time to be there.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be in the draft room per se. I need to sign up for the tickets, but hey, we'll be out there at least at the very least.
On the street, bro.
At the very least Friday night. Yeah, but to get into the little corral and all that.
Well, they're gonna fucking block off the entire strip, from what I understand.
So
you got to be within earshot of the fucking Bellagio.
We'll be out there, even if we're at the sports book watching it on TV, holding a cocktail. My goal is to at least be out there Friday night and hit some of these draft parties and maybe run into some of y'all pillagers and maybe get some man on the street interviews. Who knows? We'll be out there hustling one way or another. So, you guys, think about it. Think about it. My lady's coming. You guys bring your ladies.
Well, this is what I already have in a realm of possibility. So I have my boy who just moved out there earlier this year. He's in medical. He's in the medical business. He's a doctor, and he just recently moved from the South. He was out living in the South over there in Mississippi. Oh, well, out there, man.
I think they call it South with an F.
The South.
Travel from the North to the deep, deep South.
So my dog
just to smack a motherfucker in his goddamn mouth.
Yeah, Dolomite. No, so my homie, he came back as far west as he could because he's like, I'm probably never gonna get back to Cali, dog, because it's fucking expensive over there. So he came and he moved to Vegas, man. So he's working in Vegas and he bought himself a house. So he hit me up. He's talking about like, hey man, like whenever you guys want to come out. Cool. I was like, man, I might have to come over there for the draft. He's all, I know the Raiders are over here. So you going to come over here? I was like, you fucking right. I'm going to go over there. Yeah. He said, well, you let me know. Dope. So I got that option. And then, of course, you already know the timeshare is there. Yep. It's just a matter of getting on that website and booking them days ahead of time.
That's right.
So we'll see what we can work out, dog.
Yeah, my lady
got to make it work.
And my lady sister, she bought a house out there too. So lots of options. We'll keep you updated on that. Looks like at least Kenny Stabler, myself, I will be out. I'm not trying to refer to myself in the third person ever again.
Hey, remember, I've told you a long time ago, it's all right. Like even the fourth person too, dog. You can refer to yourself to the fourth person. That's cool on me, dog.
I have to be on some heavy psychedelics to do that. All right, so let's take a quick break. Let's get BD Williams on the air over here. We'll be back in a moment.
Yeah, boy.
Y'all enjoy this short break.
Yeah.
I like this one, dude.
Smooth.
Hell yeah.
It's funky. Save. No, I'm saying.
Like, straight up.
Kenny Stabler, He's the first one to tap this motherfucker.
Yeah, I want to actually twist one up and just smoke to this. Bam.
Stay a little.
You have reached the voice.
Yeah.
Come on, Caners. I see you up in the chat, son.
That's not Kane, bro.
No, it's not?
Are you listening to the show? Trying to bring our guest on, BD Williams, dog.
That's right. My bad. My bad. Fuck.
That 8.9 is getting to you, bro.
Hey, it's too smooth, bro.
I jumped segments, dog. It's my bad. My bad.
Right.
She's over here.
I got ahead of myself.
Chaz on that 1.21 gigawatts, bro.
I'm about to hit 85 up in this bitch. Where we're going, we don't need no roads.
That's right. But we do need elotes, bro.
Yeah, fuck. I can go for one.
Shit, you know what I'm saying? Shit.
You have reached.
Yo, Vinny, I got pictures of that last tailgate, but I'm not sure if I got any pictures of you and your youngin'.
All right, looks like BD maybe lost track of time. I don't know what the deal is, but we'll have to pick that up maybe next week. So let's just take a break right here. We'll come back on the other side for you guys, and we'll have Kane's Corner. I see Kane in the chat, so we'll go right to Kane when we come back.
Chill.
And
I was right then.
We'll do these bracket rankings. So Che was right. Not only is he time traveling, but
I'm telling the fucking future over here. I'm goddamn Chester Damas.
It's like the Mexican Terminator, bro.
I'm gonna have to bring that bitch back.
back. Yes, sir. Sorry about that. BD Williams could not join us tonight. Not sure what's going on. Not answering his phone, not answering his text. Maybe something came up. Everyone's got families, dog, and you never know what's going to happen. Yeah. But before we get into it, we got Kane on the line right now. Before we get there, we got one more chill out to review.
Oh, yeah.
This one's from the Almanac Brewing Company. You guys already know I love their sours. We've reviewed several of their sours so far. But Che, hit him with that.
Let's get it. Chela número 2. Coming at you live.
In effect.
And in effect, this is the Waves West Coast IPA from the Almanac Brewing Company, bro. And it's described as being dank, evergreen, and citrus. Okay?
Sounds promising.
Yeah. 6.7 on the ABV. Okay. Dry hopped with Simcoe and Centennial hops.
Oh, I can smell that over here. It smells good.
Oh, yeah.
It's a sharp-looking can.
We're going to pour this. I'm going to pour this hard out.
Well, that's what actually caught my attention was just that dank. And I was like, all right, let's see how dank it is actually. And damn. Almost looks like an orange right here.
I don't know what's going on with Kane's line. I'm going to have to mute that channel really quick.
It sounded like he was pouring out a beer, too.
Yeah.
I mean, what? You got to join in, dog.
Winning room.
Get that fucking winning room. Hey, this is delicious.
Whoa.
This is delicious, man. I'm going to take another sip.
You could definitely taste that citrusy flavor in it, man.
Oh, yeah. That's nice. It's not. It's not overpowering. The hops ain't too strong. There's a nice balance of the citrus flavors and the hops. You still got the hoppiness. Mm-hmm. Not too bitter though. It's smooth. It's pretty smooth. I mean,
is that how West Coast IPAs are?
The West Coast IPAs are usually a little bit on the. Well, I lie. Let me take that back because some West Coast IPAs can be kind of real fucking heavy too.
Well, originally that's where it started. The grapefruit, the hoppiness.
Yeah, but this is very, very good, man.
What's the ABV on that?
ABV is a 6.7.
Okay.
But yeah, man, it's a malt. It's Admiral Pilsner malted wheat in Vienna. That's the malt.
Would you buy it again?
Absolutely.
Where would you drink this?
Everywhere.
Oh damn! Don't get arrested now. Don't be drinking that at work, dog.
Hey, well, come on now.
Everywhere.
Wait, that's a given.
Yeah,
that's a given, my friend. You're telling me where I would drink this? Obviously, I could only drink this in places where I could drink. Okay,
which would be
at home.
This is a cookout beer.
The studio beer. This would be in the Crow's Nest. Mm-hmm. It would be at the cookout.
Mm-hmm. This is
goddamn tailgate.
This is even like at the beach.
It's gonna be at the beach. Mm-hmm. This is on a hike. Okay, you go fucking hit the high peaks. Drink one of these bitches when you get to the top. It's be real rewarding.
This is an outdoor summer day beer.
Hell yeah.
That's what you're trying to tell me.
Hell yeah.
All right. I like that.
I would drink this shit on the fucking hike up.
There you go.
Fuck water. I'm just saying.
Stop halfway through.
I'm just saying.
Shout out to Pete. Thanks for the donation, bud. Looking forward to your phone call later on. Let's get into this, man. Yeah, it's Kane's Corner. You know what it is. Welcome to the show, Kane, brought to you every week by NFLshop.com. Get your crisp Raider gear over at NFLshop.com. You got a brand new season coming up, so it's time to get yourself a new jersey. If you go to PJ4F.com and you click on the NFLshop.com banner and make your purchase, we get a piece of that. Kane, are you building a shelf over there? What's going on, bro?
IKEA, bro.
Oh, sorry about that. I had to put my dog outside while I was on this thing.
I see.
Because I got to watch his little motherfucking ass while he running around here so he don't shit and piss in my goddamn house. So I had to put him outside, and he's standing at the door screaming. But it's all good. He quiet now. What's up, though?
Yeah, I saw. Is that a brand new dog for you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
That's a good looking pup you got.
Shout out to Edwin DBZ on Twitter for the hookup.
That's what's up. What I mean? That's what's up. Edwin was up in our league this year, right, bro?
Yeah, yep. Right. You and him went for the last two spots.
And remind me,
you won it.
That's right. That's what I was going to say. Remind me
who
won
what?
that.
Shout out to you for winning. You know, that league is not an easy league, and you fucking came in the first year and
rookie
fucking
season,
mastered that shit. But you know what? In the last half, it took you a minute.
Yeah.
But in the last half, you got it down, though.
You're fucking right.
So Kane, did you name this dog after any of the Raider greats on tonight's bracket?
No, absolutely not. I actually had my kids name it, and the kids named him Thanos.
Oh, that's cool.
That's not
cool.
bad.
Hey, that's a cool ass name.
Yeah.
Hey, that almost sounds like a Raider name too. Hey. Like it could be a Raider name.
And Thanos and Tom Cable are,
like brethren, man. It's like brethren. It's fucking
bitch.
It's fucking Thanos Cable and Tom Cable, bro. They're fucking twins. People didn't know that.
Cable snap his fingers and break your jaw, bro. Break your jaw. So let's get into this, Kane. I don't know if you got a chance to listen to the show last week, but what we've done is we've taken 64 Raider player names, greatest of all time contenders.
Yeah, boy.
We've broken them up into 4 different brackets. What we're doing right now for the next 4 episodes, starting last week, is ranking these individual brackets. Now, we've divided them by category, which is a little bit loose because we got some names today in this category that don't quite fit, but we had to put them somewhere. So last week, it was the Big Nasties on offense. We were ranking guys like Jim Otto, Gene Upshaw, John Madden, Art Shell, Dave Dalby, Henry Lawrence, Steve Wisniewski, Lincoln Kennedy, so on and so forth. This week, we got the Big Nasties on defense plus a few. So we got names on here like Greg Townsend, Howie Long, Al Davis, Ben Davidson, Bill King, Greg Beekert, Rod Martin, Lyle Alzado, Phil Vilipiano, John Matuzak, Khalil Mack, Ted Hendricks, Otis Sistrunk, Chester McGlockton.
Khalil Mack made the list. Oh my God, for real? Okay.
Yeah. So the way this started is we put out the survey. I put it up on PJ4F.com. I put it out on Twitter, and we let all the listeners basically submit their names, and people submitted about 145 names. There's some duplicates in there. We had to whittle it down to 64, and this is what we've come up with. So this week, if you don't hear a name that you think belongs in this tournament, it just means we probably haven't gotten to it yet. I said that about a dozen times last week. Y'all still didn't get it. Y'all still at the end of the show are like, Tim Brown! Tim Brown! Tim Brown's on the list.
They must have listened to last week because he should have been on the first show. What the fuck?
So once again, I'll say it because you seem to not get it either, and I'm talking directly to you. Last week.
I know.
Last week was the big nasties on offense. We still have the playmaker categories coming up. So we got playmakers on offense and defense. Tim Brown is on next week's bracket. So
yes,
what we're going to do is we're going to rank these. Last week we started with number 1, and we ranked them all the way down to 16. So we're going to do the same thing this week. What I really should have done is probably sent you this list, which I can do right now if I wanted to. You got your phone? Oh, you're talking on your phone, huh?
We can
so
yeah, but I can do both.
Yeah.
If you want to send it to me. How you going to send it to me? Text?
I'll just send it. I'll just message you on Twitter. Yeah, I'll just message you on Twitter right now. I'll send it as that. All right. So you guys want to brief them a little bit more? You guys want to start talking about this?
I mean, we can get into this.
Just get into the nitty gritty of it, man.
Let's get down to the nitty gritty.
Definitely, man. This West Coast IPA is making it happen.
Oh yeah, it's making it happen. This is fucking delicious, bro. You nailed it with this one. But anyway, so listen, we went down the list. We did go down the list. Right here at the top of our list, we have Greg Townsend, Darrell Russell, Howie Long, Al Davis.
Damn.
Yeah. So here's the tricky part.
So wait, okay. I'm. Let's go over this one more time. So I'm finna. What am I finna pick? Because this is hard. So what am I finna pick?
Yeah, this is not easy by any means, bruh. By any means is this easy. We had some trouble last week, okay? And there was some bona fide players that you could say, like, obviously these guys got to go number 1, 2, 3, whatever. But it was difficult. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to create the order of the bracket. This is a la NCAA fucking March Madness style. Okay,
how are we judging these brackets though? By years in the NFL, by age?
Nah, bro. Based off of what
era?
Based off of the credentials of said person, player, coach, whoever. Okay, so you got to look at these names and you got to say to yourself, if I'm going to rank a number 1 out of this list, who does it have to be? We're talking about greatest Raider of all time.
Yeah.
Right. So we got. So I just wanted to make sure that's what we was. Okay.
Well, let me break the ice.
I'm ready.
Let me get this started. And I just sent you the list. It's in your DMs. Al Davis is in this bracket. And if we don't put Al Davis as number 1, then what the hell are we even here talking
about?
Oh, of course.
So he's got to be number 1.
So I've already done it. I've put the 1 next to Al Davis.
Number 1 seed.
Number 1.
Number 1
doubt.
seed. You're not going to hear any arguments from me.
All right.
Number 1 seed. So now
it gets tough.
Now it gets tough.
So
it's really tough after that.
Well, it got tough last week too because we had to base a bunch of players as well off of one coach.
Yeah,
and it's like, how could these players be ahead of this one coach?
You got Greg Townsend, you got Howie Long. Like who the you know that's like the tandem. That's like bookend.
Yeah.
You got like who you gonna pick? You know what I'm saying?
I think I think a lot of folks would like to go Howie Long here at number 2. But the curveball,
I'm gonna go Greg Townsend.
Is when you look at
for me personally, I gotta go Greg.
So,
Howie Long was good.
Kane, I'm gonna ask you to just let me finish my sentences before you jump in, because if you look at Greg Townsend's accolades, I think he becomes the clear front runner for number 2. I'm agreeing with Kane here.
Okay.
For me, I'm gonna vote Townsend for number 2.
Okay.
He's not as much of a household name as Howie Long. But when you just really look at the stats and you look at the records and you look at, the Pro Bowl votes and you look at the MVP votes and all of that, Greg Townsend, and he was really doing it. When we do our 2-minute drill, Greg Townsend is the answer to a great many questions on that drill.
Absolutely.
So
here's my thing though. Here's my thing, because this list is incredible, right? We're talking about the big nasties here. We got Ted Hendricks out there, man. We have Lalo Zato. We have Rod Martin. We have John Matuzak.
Powerhouses,
and you're talking about motherfuckers that were on championship teams.
We're gonna be championship.
See, that's why I was talking about era. I mean? It's like it's really hard to kind of pick somebody overall.
It is
when you got all these different eras that you can look at with the player. You know what I'm saying?
You're goddamn right. But
yeah, so it's kind of like you want to.
This is what we signed up for.
An era and then name a player from that era.
Yep.
Because the Raiders have had a few great defensive ends and tackles in Otis Sistrunk. I mean, you could go back,
and he's in this bracket
you know
too.
What I'm
saying? Yep. Yeah. Greg Townsend posted over 100 sacks.
I know
as a Raider.
I know. I'm not saying that he's not deserving, bro. I'm just saying. You look at the list, and you have Hall of Famers, and you have
household
names champions on this list. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, Greg Townsend didn't get a chance to win a championship with us, right? Am I wrong about that? I'm not wrong about that, right? Greg Townsend was.
You're right.
He missed. He missed the last team.
In that same era, Howie Long was dominant on the offensive line. You know what I'm saying? But that's why he countered the double teams. So that freed up Greg Townsend to make the plays. You know what I'm saying? So you got to kind of, when we're looking at football as a whole, you have to watch and see, okay, this is why this guy had the numbers, and this is why this guy didn't.
Well, here,
he didn't have the numbers because he got double teams.
Well, I'm going to throw
this guy was free to just run through the offensive line, so.
Well, I'm going to fucking throw a curveball. And I'm going to say fucking Philly. Villapiano.
Phil Villapiano.
Ooh. That's where my vote goes.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, he is a great ambassador to the Raider Nation. Not only is he out there, I mean, talking to everybody on TV and in the radio, he's actually still out there in the tailgates.
Yeah,
he's still
and a champion.
People. Yeah,
Phil
and a champion.
He's the official historian of the Raiders.
Yo, I've heard the man will let you sport his ring.
You got the wide receiver.
Huh?
Belenikov is still out there.
But he's not in this list.
Let me reset this one last time for you guys. Hold on. I got to mute Kane really quick. Let me reset this one last time, okay? There are different categories to these brackets.
Yes.
These are not offensive playmakers. You will not see Tim Brown in this list this week. No. You will not see Fred Biletnikoff in this list this week. You will see them coming up. We are not omitting them from this tournament.
No.
They have not been forgotten about.
It's four brackets. But four brackets of 16 teams.
But we're talking about mainly defensive linemen and linebackers this week. That's what we're looking at.
Real quick. Kane, have you pulled up the list on your
I did. I'm looking at it right now.
Okay, so I'm looking at it right now. That is the list that we're trying to put in order from 1 to 16 right now
for Group B.
So let me explain this further. After we rank these names, they go into a 4-bracket tournament.
Yeah.
And then the listeners will vote on these, and they will determine who wins in the first round and the second round. No,
my bad for not showing up for rehearsal, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's all good.
It's all good.
We just want to make sure you're not confused about it, though.
Now, though.
So
I got it now.
So I understand that we had listeners last week very upset that we didn't rank Tim Brown amongst the offensive linemen, but as far as I know, Tim Brown was a wide receiver his entire career. So
yep, you're right. You're right, bro.
I know this. I know it's confusing. Right. We got a lot of names in the mix here, so let's just focus on the list we have this week. And again, we still have 32 players after this week to rank. So a lot of names.
It's just so exciting to talk about. This is a really exciting category to talk about.
Yeah.
And so we kind of, me personally, I need to rein myself in and just, talk about the players that you guys named on the list. But it's an exciting category. So you want to name so many players, that's done so much throughout the year.
Absolutely.
So my bad.
Absolutely. Hey, real quick. I just want to say this because we got to give props to Kenny and Bobby because they sat down for fucking like 2 hours last week to fucking get these guys into fucking categories that actually made sense, right? Okay, so that was no fucking easy task at all for them to sit here and fucking say, okay, how do we break all this shit up? Because we got so many goddamn names, we can't just put them in a fucking straight up list.
Yeah, we weren't going to
rank them 1 through fucking whatever.
64.
Yeah,
60.
Yeah, that's way too hard.
Yeah.
So for you guys to sit here and come up with this genius idea of using that March Madness fucking as an example, breaking them into fucking groups of 16 and using, you know, the big nasties on offense, the big nasties on defense, the fucking, you know, this is perfect, man. This is the best way to do it because it would be impossible to rank these motherfuckers otherwise.
It's true, man.
No, but I think one thing and I agree with you. One thing I think is at the end of it, you should there's not a battle between offense and defense when it's on the same team. So I think at the end of this is just me, you should have one player on offense that's actually the best player for the offense throughout the times. Then you have the best defensive player. And don't pit those two against each other, but because football, and actually there should be a special teams category as well, because football is offense, defense, and special teams.
I hear what you're saying, Kane, but when you actually sit down to try to put this together, you'll see the challenges that we came up with. Yeah. We couldn't find 16 special teams players to fill out an entire bracket. So you'll see some of the special teams players do show up in the offensive and defensive playmakers. Like we have Ray Guy on the defensive playmaker list just because we didn't know where else to put him. There wasn't room for him in the big nasties. You know, you have Sebastian Janikowski in the offensive playmaker category. So we did get some of those guys in there. It was just really how do we keep the brackets even and how do we do it? This is maybe a conversation that we should have off the air. I really want to stay on task right now because right now we only have one player ranked, Al Davis. We got 15 more to go and we're really not talking about that. So that's what we need to talk about. Right now we're looking at number 2. It seems like the conversation is hovering around Greg Townsend, Howie Long, and Phil Villapiano at number 2. So this is a really tough pick. Che brings up Phil and he's got me wanting to change my answer.
Goddamn right.
So I'm on the fence right now. Bobby,
I'm standing strong.
Bobby, you got to help us out, man.
Well, the best example and the best evidence it was Raider Rue, our MVP over here, who actually said that our main man Townsend was actually 3 generations, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he was there in 3 generations. So you have to think about it like this, man. Is that Raider Nation is basically influential, and how much influence did that person bring as well? Because that's also part of the criteria as well. It's like not just who they were as a player, as an exec, but actually what their impact was on the Raider Nation and on the world in general as well. And so I don't know, that does speak a lot, man.
So that's a good point, and that's a really good point. And so let's do what we did last week because we're getting hung up on each number as if it was the last entry. Let's look at this as the top 5, right? Cool. Top 5. So let's go ahead. Let's put Townsend in there at 2, and then we still have those other names that could be a top 5 candidate, which makes sense, right? It's still getting respect. So at 1, we have Al Davis. At 2, we got Townsend. What if we put Howie Long at 3 and Villapiano at 4?
I would actually flip-flop put Villapiano at 3.
Yeah, you do 3.
Yeah, I agree with you, Bobby.
I love Howie Long, dude. That's my boy. I got his jersey, dude. But
and I bet you had his haircut too at one point.
At one point, I did have that haircut.
You're fucking right.
You gotta, when you're talking about this stuff like this, you got to go back to the deep game. Football was a lot tougher, was a lot harsher when Phil Villapiano played.
Hell
you know what I'm saying? And if this man is created, if this man has Hall of Fame talent, you know what I'm saying? This is when football was real. So, yes, absolutely. I got to definitely say, number 3 would be Phil.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You're right. They're a lot tougher, a lot harder when he played and because he played.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also, Matt Santini in the chat brings up a good point. Villapiano says he gave Al Davis the phrase "just win, baby," and for that alone, he deserves to be top 3. So here, I did it already. So we got Al Davis 1, we got Greg Townsend 2, we got Phil Villapiano 3, we got Howie Long 4. Now we're rolling, guys.
Ted Hendricks.
So Ted Hendricks at number 5, making the top 5.
Kick him in the head.
The fucking Stork, bro. Come on.
Oh man, the Mad Stork need to be number 4.
That's what I'm. So your boy Rube was in here and he said the fucking Starks got to be number 2 for me. He's only one in this bracket that played on all 3 Super Bowl winning teams.
No, that's
Pete's busting our balls.
Raider Rue, bro. It's Raider Rue. I don't question Raider Rue's knowledge on anything. That's a motherfucking champion.
No. He's right. I'm thinking about we just talked about this. Yep, you're right. He's the only in this bracket.
And you using this top 5 logic, if we expand it, if you're mad that somebody didn't make the top 5, you could still make the top 10, which is prestigious.
Right.
And again, the tournament hasn't even started yet. So if a guy gets snubbed and he doesn't make the top 5 that you thought he should, you could still vote him through the tournament. That doesn't mean he's not dead.
Right. True.
It actually means it gets a more favorable matchup, possibly. So
this is true.
You getting ranked right there in the middle is honestly the sweet spot. So Pete's over here busting our balls. He says Al, Howie, Hendricks, Townsend, Alzado, top 5, and then Tim Brown. Pete knows the drill. He's just giving us a hard time. So do we put Ted Hendricks in at 5, or do we have consensus?
He has to be in the top 5, dog.
Are we at yes,
absolutely.
Kane, are we good with that?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm good with that. So again, just to recap: Al Davis, Greg Townsend, Phil Vibiano, Howie Long, Ted Hendricks. That's a solid top 5 right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can't be mad at that. So now getting into the top 10, who's going to make it? Who's not? Darryl Russell is not a top 10 Raider of all time.
Rod Martin, bro. Rod Martin played in 2 Super Bowls. So did and Ben Davidson too.
Otis Sistrunk, man. What happened to Otis Sistrunk?
Yeah, he's 6, right there.
Yeah, you're right, man. You're right. Give it to Otis. Give 6 to Otis.
University of Mars, man. Bro. So 6 to Otis. What we got left? Chester McGlockton, Amy Trask, Khalil Mack, John
Chester McGlockton got to be next.
No, hold on.
Let me finish. Let me
make my case. We talking about? Hey, this is the Pro Football Hall of Fame panel right here, right?
Yeah.
So we finna discuss this between the. Okay, but Chester McGlockton was a great defensive tackle.
Absolutely.
But at the time that he played for the Raiders, let's look at the whole team situation.
No, I know
he still was a great defensive tackle, and then he went on to do greater things after he left the Raiders. Come on, man. Let's just look at it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about this dude, but for one thing I will say is, absolutely, Chester McGlockton has to be on this list.
Okay,
without a doubt. Even Tim Brown would tell you that.
All right, so we got, I think, candidates for top 10. We got Ben Davidson, Rod Martin, Lyle Alzado, John Matuzak, and Chester McGlockton.
I would even say Greg Beekert is in that mix for the top 10 spot.
I'd say Greg Beekert maybe fits.
Beekert is in that mix.
Yeah, he's in the mix. I could see him getting pushed to 11 though with some of these names that are on here.
Absolutely.
Beekert never won a championship, so that right there is going to ding him a little bit. So,
but man, did he fuck with Peyton Manning's head?
Neither did McGlockton, but McGlockton played in that era that you've been talking about. So, anyways, all right. So Chester McGlockton at 7. Is anybody mad about that?
I don't agree with that.
Okay, what's your submission here?
I already said it. I said Rod Martin.
Rod Martin.
Right. Rod Martin.
Rod Martin. That was when I was like, damn, we got white linebackers. We need 3 black linebackers. That was the era when I was like, how come we don't have no black linebackers?
And then you got Rod Martin
around the league, and we got 3 white linebackers. That's why we fucking suck in the linebacker era. I mean, that era was an era for me and the friends of me that was around me. We questioned like, damn, y'all ain't got no black linebackers. Y'all had Rob Ferguson, DeMartin. Y'all, it was like, huh?
No, hold on, bro. Rod Martin is a 2-time Super Bowl winning African-American linebacker.
I agree with that, but at that same time, there was questionable play.
Okay, but this guy took a fucking interception to the house in the Super Bowl, bro. Okay, this motherfucker is one of the greats.
What did happen? But after that, what happened? Like after
I don't care. That's 2 motherfucking rings, bro. That's 2 more rings than Chester McGlockton, than Greg Beekert, than Khalil Mack can fucking put together all together.
That was with that.
We're not talking about them. We're talking about Rod Martin. And we're talking about Chester McGlockton.
Okay.
Bobby, weigh in.
Honestly, dude, I could see both sides of the
You're not helping the situation.
Hey, I'm not. Well, it's because they're both making a very compelling conversation.
Look, and I'm gonna push this over, and I'm gonna push this shit over the edge, and you guys ain't gonna be able to argue with me because Rod Martin, on top of that, his brother is cool as shit. Ricky fucking Martin was dating my cousin for a little while. He's cool as fuck. Okay.
Well, hold on.
If
that's the case, then, man, I'm not sure if I can actually have Che as an actual vote, dude.
That's his name, bro. I'm fucking serious.
That's
Ricky
a conflict
Martin,
of interest, though.
He did play for Pittsburgh, but he was a cool motherfucker. He had some cool ass stories, some fucking crazy stories.
But you know what, though? I mean, that hardware, man. Those rings do have a lot of weight, man. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to actually go with Rod Martin on this.
I've been siding with Kane, but I think on this one I got to side with you, Che and Bobby. My vote's for Rod Martin. And before we get hung up on it, this is number 7. McGlockton likely is number 8, right behind him, still in the top 10. Right? Yeah. We're just setting the bracket. We're not determining winners right now. So
exactly.
How about that, Kane? If we go 7 Rod Martin, 8 Chester McGlockton, are we happy with that? Can we live with that?
Well, I'm going to disagree with y'all. The majority wins, whatever.
All right.
I just know, for me, real quick, when we had that trio of linebackers, after Che's run, yes, we did win them Super Bowls. After that, we was like, damn, it's time to make a change, and we don't have no black linebackers. So that was where I'm at. Whatever. It's all good.
All right, so let's keep it moving. Let's go 7, Rod Martin, number 8, Chester McGlockton. Who do we have left on this list now? Before you guys start hooting and hollering, let me finish who we got left. Okay?
Go ahead.
We got Ben Davidson, right? We got Bill King. We got Greg Biekert. We got Lyle Alzado, John Matuzak, Khalil Mack, Amy Trask, and Darrell Russell. So I'm of the opinion that Alzado and Matuzak got to be in this top 10. At least one of those guys has to be in this top 10. You can't think about the Raiders without thinking about either Alzado or Matuzak. Those guys are poster boys for the Raiders.
You can't.
You
can't.
I will say the twos, man.
Damn, that's hard, bro.
I got to argue that we got to put Ben Davidson in the top 10 too, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man.
Matuzak was a head case.
Well, so was Lyle Alzado.
Lyle Alzado was a motherfucking head case too. And you know, in that respect, it's really hard for me to choose between those two because fuck Khalil Mack. He's in the conversation as because he played for the Raiders, but you know, you get no trophies from me.
Yeah, no.
So it's about these other two. And you know, when I was a kid and I was growing up, I saw this movie called Caveman.
With Ringo Starr.
Matuzak.
Yeah.
Matuzak was in that movie.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And I was a big Raider fan then, you know what I'm saying? And I watched him in this movie, and I went to go see that movie because he was in it. So I'm because of that, not because of the play on the field, because you caught my eye at that point in time in my life, I'm gonna take Matuzak. You know what I'm saying?
At 9, I'm okay with that. What do you guys feel?
Honestly, any player that can study the playbook by the light of a jukebox and show up the next day,
I gotta give you that, boss.
That's all I gotta say, dude. That's honestly
throwing back the bruise and whatever else he was fucking drinking.
That's the quote that always stood out to me, man. It's like, that's cool, you're gonna party, but I mean, look, even though you're in the middle of having a good time, playbook in hand and business at hand, dude.
Yeah, reading the Behind the Raiders Shield, there's some good Matuzak stories in there. Reading Stabler's book, who I believe that quote is actually attributed to Stabler. He's got a whole chapter in there called Keeper of the Twos. They actually put Stabler in charge of John Matuzak, which sounds like a recipe for disaster, but somehow that works.
Somehow it worked out.
So I think some of the greatest Raider stories all revolve around John Matuzak, a guy that created chaos every Sunday, a guy that liked to hurt people. Yeah. I think John Matuzak is a nice fit here at number 9, making the top 10.
And he liked to save kids, too.
Yeah, so this is where it gets really tough.
That's right.
This is where it gets tough because you got Ben Davidson, who stayed in the Bay Area, had businesses in the Bay Area, and you got Lyle Alzado all wanting to get into the top 10 right here. And, of course, you guys had mentioned Greg Greg Biekert. And the voice of the Raiders, Bill King. Let's not forget about our announcers either. I mean, he doesn't fit the category, but he had to land. So we can't. And it was Bobby that advocated for Bill King to make this tournament at all. Right. Because we were looking to fill a few holes at the very end. And he was like, Bill King. I'm like, gotta have Bill King in there. Holy Toledo, I can't believe we didn't have him on there already. So, but that's not the subject right now. Right now, we're looking at number 10. I'm thinking Lyle Alzado. I'm thinking you can consider Amy Trask in top 10. Greg Biekert, Ben Davidson. Let's go around the horn. I'm going to cast my vote for Lyle Alzado at number 10. What do you guys think?
I'm sticking with Ben.
I'm going to say Alzado.
Okay.
I had to say Alzado too because it was Matt Santini that reminded me. It was a 3 Mile Lyle, and he did command respect out in that
And he
field,
tried to fight Muhammad Ali. Crazy
I forgot about that.
You know what I'm saying?
I forgot about that.
He did.
All right. So you guys outvoted me, but can we put fucking Ben Davidson at 11, please?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I'm with that.
Hey,
That's
I
a
met
legend.
Ben Davidson.
That's a legend.
I met Ben Davidson and shook his fucking handlebar, mustache, Ben Davidson. I met him in 1995 at the Coliseum. I shook his hand. You know what I'm saying? I didn't ask him for an autograph because that's not me, but I met this dude. So, yeah.
That's dope.
And he was
Ben
probably
Davidson.
charging for them. I just played.
And he was walking bow-legged like a motherfucker.
So now we got to round out the last 5 spots, okay? I'm going to just throw out my final 5 right now. I'm just going to throw that out, and I'm going to let that hang over the rest of the conversation, okay? I'm going to let you guys discuss the rest.
Let's hear it. If
I got to go 12 through 16 right here, I'm going Greg Biekert. I'm going Amy Trask. I'm going Bill King. I'm going Khalil Mack. I'm going Darrell Russell. That's the way I finish off my list.
Ooh, that's pretty tough. That's pretty tight, King. That's pretty tight, my brother.
You know what? I agree with you. I agree with that exact list.
Yeah.
Exactly as you said it. Yep.
And you guys don't have to go, the final 5 right now.
No,
we're really looking at 12.
But I do agree with you with that list.
Yeah, I agree with you too, bro.
The exact way that you just listed that right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You cool with that, Bobby?
I'm fucking good.
I don't know. You have Khalil Mack ranked that high, man?
At 15? Out of 16?
I had him at 16.
You're going to put Khalil Mack behind Darrell Russell?
Well, actually, I had him.
You can't put Khalil Mack behind Darrell Russell.
No.
Come on, bro.
Darrell Russell was the
stat.
was one of the
stat. Looking at the stat. Not looking at because we mad because he didn't sign with us.
All right. That's what I'm basing my vote off of because I'm mad still. So, all right, I'll level with you, fellas, because you guys have a level head.
But listen. We're mad at Khalil Mack because he was real fucking good and he didn't want to come back to the Raiders.
That's what I'm mad
We're
at.
mad at Darrell Russell because he was really fucking good and just did not fucking put enough effort.
Idiot.
Come on, bro.
And fucking recluse idiot. Just an idiot.
He just didn't put enough effort, bro. He was more than capable of being one of the fucking greatest fucking Raiders that we had.
His best year in '99.
Yeah.
When he walked up to the camera and said, "We going home, they going home." You remember that?
Yep.
At the end of when we beat them at the end of the '99 season, he walked up to the camera and said, "We going home, they going home."
Yep, that's right.
That was the Darrell Russell that I remember.
Yeah, you know what? My vote is just because I'm hurt still. I'm not gonna lie, dude.
That's fair.
I still have that hat parked on my sofa with all the other hats, and that hat has not moved, and it still has the number and the signature on it.
That's dope.
And I was like, man, that's fucked up, dude. I got this, and I can never wear it again. I'm like, this is some bullshit.
Hey, y'all remember when the leather jerseys was out? Remember when they had the leather jerseys?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What?
Damn.
I had a Darrell Russell. I went out and spent $100 and some on that motherfucking Darrell Russell leather jersey, and I worked my shit. I hung it up, and I took care of it and everything. Man, I was a Darrell Russell fan, big time Darrell Russell fan. Watched him. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying this dude outside of his career is what fucked him up. His personal life, and if you can go back and be like, okay, the way the NFL is now, and they want to kind of help the players on the outside, he needed some help. You know what I'm saying? Totally, he had an issue. He shows up with the to training camp with the Bane looking kind of thing fucking over his head. I mean, he had some issues, man. You know what I'm saying? But he was a good player. You know what I'm saying? And he developed under John Gruden when the team transferred from, you know what I'm saying, homeboy. We went 4-12. Joe Bugle. Under Joe Bugle to Gruden, you know what I'm saying? He developed into a good tackle. It was his personal life that fucked him up. So he's definitely on the list.
Well, listen.
Definitely, I don't know where y'all want to rank him, but he's definitely on the list.
Well, yeah, he's on the list. Okay, we're not arguing with that, right? He's on the list. He's 16 in this grouping. We put him at 16. So, but listen, one of the things I want to go back. Okay, and for those of you who haven't listened to the past episodes when we had John Kingdon on to speak about the Behind the Shield book that was put out, right? One of the things he commented on was that Darryl Russell might have been the most fucking gifted fucking football player he ever seen. He just never fucking put it together. He just wasn't willing to fucking do enough to showcase it. Like he could do something incredible one week or on one play and then just take the rest of the fucking game off or the next play off. Yeah. And that's the difference between our Raider greats, bro, and the guys that we say, yeah, you were good and you could have been great, but you never fucking put in enough effort to be great. And Darryl Russell, you fall at the bottom of this grouping because you didn't do that.
Darryl Russell was the first Raider player that I remember being a big fan of, but also being immensely frustrated by. Right?
Absolutely.
And after that, we've had a string of guys like that. But he's the first one I kind of remember to give me the fit. So let me recap our list from 1 to 16, and then I'll preview some of these matchups, okay? So starting at 1, going to 16, we have Al Davis, Greg Townsend, Phil Villipiano, Howie Long, Ted Hendricks, Otis Sistrunk, Rod Martin, Chester McGlockton, John Matuzak, Lyle Alzado. I like seeing those names next to each other. Ben Davidson, Greg Biekert, Amy Trask, Bill King, Khalil Mack, Darryl Russell. So here's how the bracket lays out.
They hate us because they ain't us, bro.
In the first round, we got Al Davis now in the 1 seed pitted against 16 seed Darryl Russell. So that's going to be your first matchup in this bracket. You got Chester McGlockton versus John Matuzak. That's a tough one. See 8 and 9 again, right in the middle. That's a tough one. It's 5 and 12. 5 versus 12 is Ted Hendricks versus Greg Biekert. You got Howie Long versus Amy Trask. That's an interesting matchup right there. Amy Trask probably not going to win that one. Sorry, Amy. We do love you. But I don't know.
High.
But there's still going to be some good votes there. And high.
And then, Amy, you up there. Yeah. But you just ain't a player.
Yeah.
You just ain't a player, baby. That's all that is. Don't mean you ain't up there.
6 versus...
When we start talking about GMs and people that work with Al Davis, your ass might come up in the top. So you know what I'm saying? Never know. We'll see. Because Mike Lombardi, in my opinion, Mike Lombardi and Ron Wolf...
Yeah. And Ron Wolf is in this tournament, just to let you know. Ron Wolf is in this tournament. He was actually the last person that we put in these brackets. I was like, we got one more slot. Ron Wolf, why aren't we talking about him? Boom.
That's right.
Here's a matchup you'll like, Kane. 6 versus 11. Otis Sistrunk versus Ben Davidson. Tough.
That's tough.
Ooh,
that's tough.
Mr. Handlebars.
Yeah.
Versus the Beast. Oh, man.
Did you ever go to Ben Davidson's bar out there in the East Bay?
I met Ben Davidson, man, when I was a kid, man. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
When I was a kid growing up, my grandfather talked about Otis Sistrunk.
Yeah.
Goes to show you, man, that
that's what I heard in my house.
Ken was hanging out at the bar as a kid, man.
No, I wasn't. My grandfather, we used to go to fucking Sam's Hofbrau. Yeah, okay.
Sam's Hofbrau.
I'm drunk. Let's not start talking about this shit. Look, I'm going with Otis Sistrunk for my grandfather, Curtis Kane. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to
I'm going Otis Sistrunk.
Shout out to Sam's Hofbrau. It's sad to see that place close down. My dad used to take me there before or after Raiders games, It was an institution, man. They had the USFL pennants up on the wall. They had the Oakland Invaders pennant up on the wall. And that's when I learned about the USFL. I was asking my dad, who are the Oakland Invaders?
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, so that was cool. 3 versus 14, Phil Villipiano versus Bill King. An interesting conversation. That's a tough one. 7 versus 10 is Rod Martin versus Lyle Alzado. That's a tough one. And then we got 2 versus 15, Greg Townsend versus Khalil Mack. Sorry, Khalil Mack, your ass is gone again. So again, once we finish setting these brackets, we're going to let you guys vote on these. We're going to probably put out 4 matchups per week, and we're going to carry this conversation all the way through the offseason. So this tournament's going to last us probably all the way until August, maybe. I mean, it's at least going to carry us through until training camp. So
real quick, because I'm watching the chat and people are running off all the names that ain't on this list yet. So let's give them the next grouping. Okay. Let's give them the next grouping so that we can at least appease some of these motherfuckers that are angry because we haven't mentioned their guy yet. Okay,
that's
so
good.
real quick. Okay,
all right. So let's do even better than that. Let's do the next 2 groupings. All right, let's just give them the last 2 groupings just so it's straight. So next week we're going to be talking about Bo Jackson, Jim Plunkett, Rich Gannon, Tom Flores, Todd Christensen, Napoleon Kaufman, Tim Brown, Fred Blitnikoff, Kenny Stabler, Mark Van Eegen.
Nobody is better than Bo Jackson ever in Raider history.
Mark Van Eegen, Daryl LaMonica, Kenny King, Charlie Garner's in there, Derek Carr, Marcus Allen, and George Blanda. And you guys had your chance.
Bo Jackson is the best Raider to ever touch a Raider football ever.
So this is
Bo Jackson.
It's gonna be good when we have these conversations because we're not deciding who moves on in the tournament. We're only deciding the ranking. So, but we will talk about your votes and we will talk about the winners and the losers. It's gonna be a great conversation. So, and really quick before I read you the last list of names and you get outrageous about who's not on here. You guys had 3 weeks to submit names. So if you don't see a name on here, it's not my fault.
Nope.
Okay. The last grouping is going to be defensive playmakers and then some. We got Charles Woodson, Mike Haynes, Shane Leckler, Nnamdi Asomugha, Ron Wolf, Sebastian Janikowski, Bill Romanowski, George Atkinson, Skip Thomas, Ray Guy, Eric Allen, Lester Hayes, Cliff Branch, Eric Turner, Willie Brown, and Jack Tatum.
Ooh, that's so hard. See, are you serious?
See, and Doc is talking about heavy hitters, man.
People, my brother. Yeah. I will definitely be looking forward to talking to you about that, but God damn.
The group chat actually last week was talking about how Group B and Group D are going to be the real heavyweights.
Hell yeah.
Well, obviously, because it's defense, man.
Yeah. Charles Woodson got a really... Charles Woodson and Tim Brown are the best players to ever play in the silver and black. But I don't care what y'all say. But let's go through the whole thing. Charles Woodson and Tim Brown are the best players to ever play in silver and black because that's what Marcellus Thomas has seen.
There you go. Hey, listen real quick.
You know what I'm saying?
Real quick, though, Kane.
When in 1976, I was 6 years old.
Kane.
You know what I'm saying? I can only go off what my grandpa told me.
Kane.
From me, those 2 players, those the best players that ever played Raider football. Along with Marcus Allen, Tim Brown, and Charles Woodson.
Kane,
you can't go.
Brother,
what happened to Bo Jackson?
Yeah, what happened to Bo Jackson, bro? Yo, wait, you just you went on a little monologue about how Bo Jackson is the greatest Raider ever. Bo Jackson's in the same
and Bo Jackson.
He's the.
I'm sorry, I
love this conversation.
But listen.
My bad.
But listen,
Bo Jackson,
he's in the same grouping as Tim Brown. So
yes.
So prepare yourself, my friend. You're gonna have a really difficult time.
Tim Brown, Bo Jackson, Tim Brown, Marcus Allen, and Charles Woodson.
It's going to be,
as far as I know, from me watching Raider football. Those are the best 4 players that I have watched that I could talk to you about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
the defensive side of the ball. But if we want to talk on that side, that's
Well, look,
brother, real quick.
I never stepped on a man's couch.
Yeah, I remember grinding my feet into his couch. God damn it. Why do it?
Yeah,
because they can buy a new one.
Look,
Yo, Kane, real quick.
You know what?
Let us know.
Drinking, but you know,
let us know what you've been drinking, dog.
I got my shit right though. You know what I'm saying? I got my shit mixed up, but I got my shit right.
No, you're right. You're right.
You fucking right,
era, for Marcellus era. For the Marcellus era of Raider football from 1976, you understand me?
Yeah.
Up until today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't remember watching Stabler play. I did see him play. I did see football with that team. But as far as I'm concerned, when I was like, nigga, I'm rooting for football. I'm a Raider fan. This is with me, and I'm out here doing what I'm doing because I'm a Raider motherfucking fan. Yeah, Bo Jackson, Marcus Allen, Tim Brown. You know what I'm saying? Those are the players that I think about.
Greatest podcast ever.
It is. It is of all time.
Ever, man.
Kane.
I mean, we can go back because we already did. We could go back into what I
fucking love you, dog.
You know what I'm saying? We can go back into the older players and you know what I'm saying? The older players and this and that. You ain't old enough to say you watched them. Bobby, Kenny, none of us. We ain't really old enough to say
you're right.
that we was able to look at football and say, oh, these was the good players. But when you go back to what you was able to watch, you know what I'm saying?
Welcome to the Raider Ramble.
You was old enough to watch. To when you start watching football and you said, I'm a Raider fan, and these are the players that I've been watching. Hey, y'all, come on, do me like y'all want to do me. But, hey, you know what I'm saying?
Bruh.
That's the real, though.
That's the real. No one's speaking out against you.
Know what I'm saying? When you're old enough to watch football and make a judgment of that team, that's the players you need to be talking about picking for these best positions. Because did you watch Ben Davidson play? I didn't. You know what I'm saying? Did
Absolutely
you watch,
not.
You know what I'm saying? Mike Haynes?
No.
I watched Mike Haynes play. But I'm just saying, we going back.
All right.
No, hey, listen. You're absolutely right. For the most part, us young buck motherfuckers, we had to hear about these players word of mouth, bro.
Yep.
And
I had to read about it.
And we ain't mad at you, dog, okay? I'm just appreciating you, dog, okay? Yeah. And really what I wanted to know is, what the fuck have you been drinking? Because I think everybody on this chat wants to fucking get what you got, dog.
Doc says that you are the greatest Raider of all time.
Get some motherfucking Amsterdam vodka and some Racer 5 India Pale Ale.
He's on that
firewater. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And have you some motherfucking drinks because this India, this shit, this Bear Republic Racer 5?
Yep.
Oh my God. It's the shit.
I think
two of these motherfuckers make you feel like you done drunk 10 beers.
So let me underline everything Kane just said because he highlights
they
very.
You know what it is they mad at Kane because I'm just trying to just keep it real. You know what I'm saying? Like,
ain't nobody mad at you.
Trying to make decisions
this is
on
classic Kane.
That some of us ain't even watch.
When Kane's,
not all of us.
When Kane's drinking, he makes a bunch of points that everybody agrees with, but somehow we don't agree with him. Everybody over here agrees with you. And what I'm about to tell you is you highlight an interesting dilemma that we're going to come to. When we get down to like the final four in this bracket, when you got names like Tim Brown versus Charles Woodson and Kenny Stabler versus Al Davis and Phil Filippiano versus Ron Wolf and Jack Tatum versus Lester Hayes, it's going to get real tough because and you got Bo Jackson versus Marcus Allen. That's where it's going to get real tough for these voters at the end of this because it depends on your opinion. It depends on the era you grew up in and who you've hitched your trailer to. Yep. You know, you can pick the greatest Raider of all time. You can pick 6, 7 of these guys to be that dude, and not a lot of people would argue with you if you didn't put all these other names around him.
But
right?
And then the fucked up
it's going to get tough. It's going to get tough.
Is Marcus Allen was beat down and fucked up out of his position. So we brought in Bo Jackson. Al Davis never wanted Marcus Allen. He thought that Marcus Allen was already a star of USC. He felt like this dude already a star. I don't want to bring, you know how Al Davis is. This is the truth. This is the shit y'all can go back and watch and look on Google.
And that's
Google
the truth, Ruth.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Al Davis was not happy with choosing Marcus Allen. You know what I'm saying? So he brought in guys like Bo Jackson.
But thank God for Ron Wolf.
Or Carl fucking Weathers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Action Jackson, bro.
These, so my point that I'm trying to make is that people trying to make a vote.
Keep doing
people
that.
trying to make a vote on what we're doing right now. Dope, and I love this segment. I love it.
Yeah.
But people trying to make a vote on what we're doing right now, you ain't even watch some of the players you trying to vote on.
Well, don't underestimate the listenership. We got some vets in there, and you got NFL films. We got guys that do know the stats and the numbers, and there's still a lot of those old games out there. So I'm always impressed by the knowledge of our fans, whether they're young or old.
Oh, man, our fans are great.
I think it's going to be good. I think you're going to see a lot of these old timers make it to the final brackets because as Raider Nation, that's what we do. We celebrate our history. I think that's one of the biggest knocks on Raider Nation is y'all are too nostalgic, but that's because we celebrate our greats. We have an educated fan base when it comes to the history of our team. I see it all the time on Reddit. I'm a brand new fan. What do I need to know? And a lot of the folks on Reddit are young, but they start off, they'll start posting links to NFL films and talking about guys like Jack Tatum and guys like Rod Martin. So even these youngsters, they know, and it's really, it warms my heart to see that because we can't let that go. We can't let the greats go. It's the reason why we're having this bracket, this conversation, because I mean, the Raiders paved the way for the NFL in a lot of regards. We changed the game and we changed it again and again.
You even brought up, Snake's book, like him actually being there, like saying like what it is that happened, man. That book, Badasses. Shout out to Grizz.
I got to read that one.
I got to read that. He's the one who told me, hey, you're all pumped on Hard Knocks. He's like, you got to read this, bro. He's like, this is the Hard Knocks, and I started dipping into that. And dude, it's no joke, man. Like seeing actually what it is that doesn't happen. So it's definitely a thing about actually getting into the past because that's the greatness right there.
Go read Badasses, and if you're going to read any Raiders book, read The Snake, Ken Stabler. It's a short book. It's an easy read, and the stories are gripping. I mean, you're getting the greatest Raiders stories. Some stories you probably never even heard of are sitting right in that book. Go find it and read it. You can probably find it cheap on Amazon. That's a great book. I read that years ago. I might need to reread that book. I love that book.
Behind the Raiders Shield too, bro.
Behind the Raiders Shield, fantastic.
We already said that earlier,
fantastic.
But real quick.
Okay.
I just have a question for all y'all motherfuckers because you were talking about how difficult these brackets are going to get at the end. Is this going to cause a larger divide than car stands versus car haters?
You already know that, bro. Come on, you ain't gonna ask that.
You know how to go there. Fuck y'all.
No, that hate runs deep. You know why? You know why I know that's not going to be a problem? Because we're listing off. We've listed off all the names now, right? We've listed off all the names now, right? We didn't mention Derek Carr.
Nope.
I don't see any problems in the chat with that now.
Not a problem. Not a goddamn problem. That's what I was saying, though.
Yeah.
Is it going to cause a bigger problem, a bigger rift between Raider fans than because there's going to be some motherfuckers that are going hard for their team. They're going to be like, hey, fuck you, Charles Woodson. And there's going to be some motherfuckers that be like, fuck you, Tecmo Bo Jackson, you son of a bitch.
Good. We're about to break the internet with this.
You're going to have some motherfuckers
gonna be good.
That's talking about Terry
It's going to be good. I'm looking forward to this shit.
Charles Woodson.
Kane, we're going to end this segment right now. I need you to go get yourself an ice pack and put that on your head because...
Wait. You're going to have some people talking about Terry McDaniel over Charles Woodson.
Oh, no.
Some motherfuckers
Terry McDaniel's not in this.
Yeah, Terry McDaniel.
He's not in this.
Terry McDaniel was the man for a long time.
But he didn't make the list.
Didn't make the list.
But he didn't make the list. No one wrote him in, dog.
No one wrote him in. So
You know why nobody wrote him in?
Because he was on a losing team.
The list don't even know about Terry McDaniel.
But he was on a losing team. That's why.
The people that made the list obviously don't know about Terry McDaniel. That was our best cornerback in L.A.
You know who?
What are y'all talking about?
You know who we had on this list who got bumped off was Eric Turner. Was he still on the list?
No, Eric Turner's still
on the list.
Eric Turner came here when he came from Buffalo as a Raider in Oakland.
Yeah.
And he had stomach cancer and had a fucked up game, and you could see it at the end of his career when he got hit in his stomach when we played against. Yeah, man, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That was his last game.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying? Eric Turner came from Cleveland to the Raiders. We wanted Eric
Albert
Turner.
Lewis.
I was happy to get
Albert
Eric
Lewis.
Turner.
Hey, get that hot water bottle. Get that ice pack,
like
dog.
Terry McDaniel that should have
gonna
made
be a fun
that list.
Terry
morning, McDaniel should be on that list.
Yeah.
Terry
bro,
McDaniel
listen.
should be on your list.
We're not gonna disagree with you, dog. But the bottom line is, we put it out there to the fans, and the listeners that responded gave us their list, dog, and we ended up with 64 motherfuckers.
Podcast, y'all niggas didn't even ask me none of the players.
Bro, you have access to the same fucking questions that everybody else does.
Kane, it was on Twitter. It was on our website. If you didn't submit a name, that's not on me. That's on you. And that goes out to all the listeners. If you're mad that somebody's not on here, well, you should have put him in there. I only put one name on this list, and that was Ron Wolf. And Bobby only put one name on this list, and that was Bill King.
Yep.
The rest were decided by you guys. So it was out there for
those are filler. Those are filler, and it's a good thing you guys thought of them, because it would have been fucked up without them.
It was out there for a good 2.5 weeks. It was out there for like 18 days. Nearly,
I thought my choice would be decided inside, not on Twitter. But okay, all right.
No, we didn't do it on air. I only put one name on this list. It was out there for the public. I could have done it too. I could have put names in on the survey, and I didn't. I left it to the listeners. It was out there in public. It was it was the pin tweet for a while. So if you guys missed it, I don't know. I don't know.
I'm not public. I was trying to. Okay,
you're on Twitter, Kane. That's all I got to say. It was on Twitter. I put it in the chat. Everybody saw it. If you didn't enter it, I don't know what to tell you. There's no excuses. It was out there. You seen it. It was right in front of you. If you didn't do it, you didn't do it. That goes out to everybody. So don't get mad that your player's not on this list. You had a good 2.5 weeks to get somebody on there. I made it as easy as possible.
Terry McDaniel was the fucking top cornerback for the Raiders for like 8 years.
But you didn't submit his name, so I don't know what you're arguing with me for.
Why you mad at me for, dog?
This isn't about me. This is about you not doing a submission, and it was right there for you. So you guys, if you miss the cutoff, you miss the cutoff. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing. Your guy doesn't get voted to the Pro Bowl, and did you vote? No. Well, did your presidential candidate win? No. Did you vote? No. Well, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, motherfuckers. You see what happens. But, see what happens.
But I think at the end of the day, we got
orange face.
We got 64 solid names. We could sit on the show. Everybody on the show right now is drunk.
Y'all motherfuckers better vote for this shit.
You guys are just talking over each other like crazy. I know we're all having a good time, but this is gonna be a real shitty listen for some people that enjoy the show. So I just want to be clear when someone's talking. Nobody else should be talking. I got the whole talking stick right now.
Okay. Hey, I didn't see the talking stick, bro.
It's right here.
Sorry,
it's right here.
You know I respect the talking stick, bro.
So anyways, that's it, man. 64 names. Y'all had a chance to get your names on there. If you didn't know, you didn't do it. But I think we've talked it out, man. That's the end of this segment. Again, we're going to be talking about this every week from now until we're done. This could stretch out again, like I said, till August. Kane, man, this was an awesome Kane's Corner. I want to thank you again for coming on. We missed you last week in this conversation. We want you in this conversation every single week because you're the elder statesman of the Pillaging Podcast, and you've seen more of these guys play than a lot of us have. So we definitely need your input on this going forward with the rankings and whatnot, and even in the conversation. Again, we're not going to decide who wins these matchups. I mean, we get to vote when it's on Twitter, right? We each get one vote per matchup. So, guys, Che, Bobby, Kane, feel free to vote on these as they come out. Cast your vote out there to see who wins and who loses. But we will revisit this again on the next episode, and we'll continue ranking those last two brackets, of which I've always stated the names.
Yep.
If you're mad, not my fault. Not my problem.
Hey, you know what? It's been very good debating with y'all. I love to debate. I like arguing. I do.
We know, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, we can do this every motherfucking week.
Damn right. We do.
I think people like to hear shit like this any motherfucking way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's been good, fellas.
Hell yeah,
you
bro.
You know what? I miss y'all niggas, man.
I miss you too.
Miss you too, bro.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. We gotta get together, man. So
we do.
Absolutely.
It's all good.
All right, guys. That's it for this segment right here. Kane, I'm gonna let you go. Rest up, dog. Enjoy that Amsterdam. Enjoy that racer. And we'll talk to you next week. Yep.
For sure.
All right, brother. Peace.
Peace.
That was a flamethrower. A flamethrower of a segment. Good one. Let's take a short break right here. Let's come back with the phone calls. I need to refill my water cup. And we'll see you guys on the other side.
Yeah, boy.
We out.
Peace.
Yeah, we're back in the crow's nest right now.
Yeah, boy.
Y'all, sir. It is currently 9:30 p.m.
Yes, it is.
Standard time in the crow's nest, and we're rolling right along here. We started about 7:30, so we're about 2 hours into the show right now. Those of you listening to the audio version, we crop it down, we edit out all the behind-the-scenes stuff, so we're probably a little shorter than that if you're listening to the podcast version of this. Those of you on the live stream, thank you for tuning in. The chat's been awesome tonight.
Absolutely.
You guys are great. So again, 408-909-PJFF is the number. We got one call in the chamber, and then we're going to open up the phone lines. This call came in at 1:30 this afternoon. This is coming from the 435. Raider Roo, that's on you.
Yeah, boy.
Hey, what's going on, Kenny, Che, Bobby, all the pillagers? This is Raider Roo. So I was looking through Twitter and seeing the list for this week's ranking from the defensive side, and the one Big East from the defense side, and I started looking at it, and it was difficult. And I got my list, and I'm sure people will have a lot of guys different places because most of these individuals mean so much to different people in Raider Nation in different ways and so much. But here goes. So I got number one. I think the only one you can have number one is Al Davis.
And really quick, Rue did say that his greatest Raider of all time is Ted Hendricks. He said that on Twitter today. So.
Yes, he did.
No surprise there from Rue.
The member of all three Super Bowl winning teams.
It's a bit of a fire take, but also not. Right, also not. So I think at the start of Rue's call, he stated it best. Depends on your attachment to these players. But this is a good call. Let Rue go on.
For me, one of my personal all-time favorites at number Howie Long. Then I followed Otis Sistrunk because he was the man in the middle there, and I know got to have that man from Mars. A nickname like that, you got to have him ranked pretty high. Greg Townsend for me at 5, Bill King at 6, Phil Villapiano at 7, John Matuzak at 8, Lyle Azedo at 9, Amy Trask at 10, Ben Davidson at 11, Rod Martin at 12, Greg Beaker at 13, Darrell Russell at 14, Chester McGlockton at 15. Bringing up the rear at 16 is Khalil Mack, even though he was good.
Fair.
As he was in the short time here, it was very short time lived, and he clearly won it out from the Raiders. So that deduct points for me, so I'm putting him at the bottom.
Convincing argument for all those names there. Can't disagree either. But we're the ones ranking. But I like these calls. I like these reaction calls, man. I love the call. Hell, Rue, you should be in this bracket for as much as you've done for this podcast and as far as you've traveled for this team as often as you've done it. So, Rue, you're much appreciated, dog.
That might be that Group E that Doc was talking about, man. Yeah. He's talking about putting Kane and Super Mexican in that Group E, dog. Might have to throw Rue in there, dog.
Hey, wait, well, hold on. Let's see. That might be a whole different another tournament.
A pillager bracket.
Yeah, bro.
Coming soon.
Yeah.
Coming soon
to a Pillaging Podcast near you.
That might be the Nasties next year. So
shit, the Nasties.
Yeah. So Raider Roo, Mr. Nesty himself. My money might be on Rue in that bracket. I don't know though. Again, we got tough matchups. I mean, how do I not vote for my man Jant as number one? I don't know, dog. I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a controversial one. But yeah, man, a pillager bracket. That's a good idea. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to open the phone lines right now.
Yeah, boy.
Hold on. There we go. Phone lines are currently open, so we'll hang out a little bit right here. But that was a crazy segment, man. We were talking about it off the air, but for those listening to the podcast, that was wild, man. We don't get to have Kane on here every week because, again, the show does go late. We're a little earlier this week. Kane works very, very early. Even though tomorrow's a holiday, I'm pretty sure he's working.
He's a hardworking man, dude.
He is a real hardworking dude. So it's always a pleasure to get him on here. Again, I always say he's the elder statesman of this show. And he's got so much passion and energy. He started arguing with himself. He was debating both sides of this all by himself. So
we love you, dog.
So we got the 360. I think this is Pete. Let's get him on the air.
Oh yeah.
Hey, you're on the Pillaging Podcast live. He's coming, bro. He's coming.
Doing
well.
good, bro.
How you doing, Pete?
Tim Brown. Hey, what's up, everybody? How we doing? Not bad, man. Not bad. Just listening in. And one reason I didn't call in this week, I'm going to say this about last week. I got caught up in the Las Vegas airport myself, which is where I was in the fucking group chat last week. But I want to add a different splash in what you guys are doing for this bracket. Look, man, I am 27 years old. Okay, like a lot of this historical shit. One thing that I will say is a benefit.
Fucking right.
And what I appreciate about it,
because we learn a lot from you.
I'm learning a lot.
Yeah.
So, thank you, Pillagers. Thank you, everybody.
Well, you know what they say, man. Each one teach one, and that's what the Raider Nation does right here, man. I mean, we all bring something to the table, and we all got that little bit of insight, that little bit of info that maybe the other person didn't know about.
Oh. Are you there? Okay.
Okay, I think he just can't hear me.
Bobby Wasabi, really quick.
Yo, I can't hear y'all for nothing right now. What's going on?
Of knowledge
I think it's
over here in the villagers.
I think it's a plethora.
Oh man,
I'm still trying to find a job for Pete because we're not just blog baby, we're no black hole banter, we're no Raider ramble, but we do post articles on our site. And Pete's a really smart guy, so Pete, if you ever want to write something up too, feel free to send it over to me. I will publish it. But you're a smart dude. You're sharp tack, as they say. So I'd be happy to do that.
Hey, well, look at this, Kenny. I tell you this right now. I'm not active on social.
Okay.
Ooh, watch
out.
Watch out.
Like,
that's gonna be fire.
Really not. Like, but what I will say to the Pillagers and everyone listening right now, the Twitter's coming soon. So.
Oh, you might get down with some basketball.
Soon. I'm gonna try and do that because I like to react and I like to do
basketball coming at ya.
Y'all been warned. So Pete, I've been meaning to ask you because I've looked for you on social media. You're not there. How did you find this show?
That's believed to be around stuff. Well, like what I told you when I did the
dope.
When I did the 2-minute drill, and I'm dead serious. I'm an avid follower of Murph and Mosh and Mikey Rader, and I found you guys through Mikey Rader when he clipped his interview with y'all. Like, what was that? Like 2 years ago now, or a year ago? Yeah, that's how I found you guys. Ever since then, like what I said on the 2-minute drill episode, I was like,
these are facts.
You guys are talking Raiders, cracking beers. I can call in. Talk
so, are you a made man on Murph's Man Cave?
Shit. And like not get not get kicked out of college list. I mean, like that's how it happened. You know what I mean? So. I am not because I curse way too much. So I have not. I have decided to not call in. I would, but I can't help myself. You already know. Yeah. So, quick question though, guys. I mean, because this isn't like. Ooh. This isn't like what you guys.
I will say this: I don't expect the Raiders to draft a linebacker in the first round. I don't expect that to happen. I do expect us. I do expect us to really try to. I'm looking at the wide receiver free agent market, and that's telling me that a wide receiver is probably coming in the draft. So I'm looking at a guy like CeeDee Lamb. I'd be happy with on this team, but it all depends. It all depends.
So okay, like what I can tell you about that because like I followed a lot of Bleacher Report shit and other stuff out of shit that is not close to the Raiders is apparently like for anyone who wants the Tom Brady rumors or anything like that, they probably be sticking with Derek Carr. Like is kind of the consensus actually. And not only that, but I think CeeDee Lamb, rather than Jerry Jeudy, I love them both, but CeeDee Lamb is probably like the best prospect for Gruden's offense. You know what I mean? So I agree with you on that. But outside of that, what I will say is this.
Yeah, that's right.
We tried to trade. You talked about the free agency market for wide receiver. We tried to trade for Robbie Anderson twice this year, before the season and during the season. And he's a free agent. But the only the only thing that goes in that cap is he played college football with Matt Rule, former head coach of Baylor. That is now the coach of the Carolina Panthers. Yeah. And they're saying that would be a likely spot. But at the same time,
I'd like to see the Raiders throw a nice bundle of cash at Chris Jones, and I'm going to tell you why. You move Chris Jones into the middle next to P.J. Hall. You got Cleveland Ferrell, and you got Max Crosby. I'm looking at Gunther's system, and there's a lot that's said about linebackers and blitzing in his system. But when you look at the linebackers he's worked with historically, outside of like Vontae's Burfict, there's not a lot of names. What makes that work is the mix of stunts and twists that happen on that line. If your defensive line is doing its job up front and opening the holes for those exotic blitzes, you could put Che back there at linebacker and he's going to get to the quarterback. Okay?
Hey, what the fuck does that mean, dog?
I'm saying you're not an NFL player, but you do look like you could hit somebody.
Just because I got a bum fucking knee right now doesn't mean I can't fucking hit somebody.
That's what
dog.
I'm telling you.
I'm gonna hit somebody.
I'm telling you, but I don't have a lot of faith in your swim move. I'm just saying.
Bro, I played tight end, bro. I had to get off of those fucking defensive ends, okay?
I played tight end 20 years ago.
I played tight end, bro. I had real good swim move, okay?
All right.
I got quick feet, dog. Okay?
All right.
Shit.
Let me restate that. You could put Bobby Wasabi back there in the purple pants.
That's fucked up because I'm short.
In the purple pants.
So, yeah, it's true.
In the purple reins,
yeah, you can put him in the purple reins and he's getting to the quarterback. So I feel like if you add Chris Jones to this defensive line, you're going to see improved play no matter who our linebackers are. As far as linebackers go, I mean, we just need some depth there. But Chris Jones is my number one free agent right now is what I'm looking at. I'd like to see CeeDee Lamb come out of the first round. I think those two guys right there really uplift this team. And I'm not going to get into the Derek Carr, Tom Brady stuff. We talked about a lot of that last week. Let me just say this. The things that I've been hearing behind the scenes, whether they're bullshit or not, it's just where there's smoke, there's fire. So just brace yourselves. Something might be coming down the pike that's going to make a lot of people cringe. And I got called out for my Brady takes. Look, I didn't really give you my Brady takes. In fact, I did. And we started the show last week with it. I told you, I'm going to cringe with the rest of you. It's going to be hard to look at Brady in a Raider uniform. If that happens, it's going to be hard. The NFL wants it bad. The NFL wants the Raiders to make a gigantic splash in Las Vegas, and Tom Brady is a beacon of light like the one on top of the Luxor. That's gravity. That's going to pull people into that stadium. That's going to pull free agents over here. So I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying that the chances of it happening are probably higher than most people want to admit. But yeah, it's going to be hard to look at it. I don't stare directly into the sun because I don't want to go blind. And so it's the same thing with Tom Brady.
It's a good move. It's a good move, by the way.
He's a shining star in this league, but I don't like staring straight at him. It's creepy. Especially when he's wearing his kimono and trying to make out with his son, Pete.
That was an awesome call, Pete.
You a shining star.
Okay. Real quick, I got to... Yeah. Now I got a couple things for you, though. Some that I didn't bring up last week is... I saw something, I can't remember where it was. I'm like, I'll get back to Chris Jones real quick. We're set to offer.
Pause really quick.
Years,
I'm hearing that it's $60 million guaranteed, but I'm also hearing the Raiders are willing to go up to 70, but the $60 million guaranteed is not going to budge. So there's a chance they offer him $35 million per year with 60 guaranteed on the table. That's what I'm hearing. Again, these are not my opinions. I'm just passing on the little things that I hear in the background. It could be bullshit, man. When I'm wrong, I admit I'm wrong.
Yeah. No, look, dude, I ain't mad at you. What I'm trying to say is this, though. What if, because it's been proven before, dead serious, what if we're playing Connect 4 and John Green and Mike Mayock?
That'd be fucking genius. That'd be genius on a whole nother fucking level, right?
Hella money just so the punk-ass Chargers offer them about $40 million a year. Y'all ever think about that? Dude, no, I could see it happening. Like, us making, like, we're going to hold a fucking, I guess there's a rally to be had in Vegas here soon. and like we're going to offer him all this money, and then the fucking Chargers, who need to sell tickets way more than we do, regardless of quarterback or not, would offer him way more money. And you know what? What if Brady falls off in a year or two, and like that just strengthens our schedule for the fucking next 2 years. But I move on to the Chris Jones thing, though. And
I gotta check that out.
Well, obviously you know of Chris Long, Howie Long's son. Have you listened to his podcast about free agency at all? Okay, no. Well, I travel a lot for work, so I got a lot of time in the truck, listening to podcasts and shit. But what he said was, as far as Chris Jones' free agency goes, is that it's us and the Colts that are in the running for him. And here's my 2 bits about that.
Yeah.
I will donate money to get that motherfucker out of the AFC West. Okay, how about that? Like, he had 3 batted passes in the Super Bowl. And, like, the way he terrorized us, this, that, and the other thing, like, no, get him the fuck out of here. I don't know that it would be an Ndamukong Suh type deal with the Dolphins where, like, if we paid him, he got fat. I would love to see him in a Raiders uniform, but I want to see him get the fuck out of there. And the other rumor is that he's going to get tagged.
Very interesting points there.
That would make sense. That's a big motherfucker.
But I guess we're in the running
he's like
hardcore
6'5", 6'6",
so
right?
If you see a big splash, that might also be it.
Yeah.
Dude, he's huge, and like my favorite thing is him and Trent Brown.
Facts. Those are facts.
Trent Brown makes him look like a fruit roll-up.
3+.
And he's
Trent
hungry.
Brown makes him look like a you know what I mean? I love that bit. Yeah.
The whole box at once?
You know what? I feel a kinship to Trent Brown because I eat fruit roll-ups the same way he does. You know what I mean?
I love that no
Didn't
matter.
even take the fucking plastic off.
I love
the whole shit in it.
I love that no matter what flavor fruit roll-up you buy, they're all the same color. I like that. Yeah, I do.
The only thing I remember was the multicolored pants.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. But no, they look like the multicolored Gatorade.
Hey, here's a good one for you. Here's a little life hack. You take your fruit roll-up and you put it on your peanut butter sandwich.
Nice.
Oh, shit.
And you smack that.
Get the hell out.
Hey, we already ran out of that shit, dog. Okay, that was last week, bro. That was last week,
bro. When I'm on that queso, I put Cheez-Its on my peanut butter sandwich.
There you go.
And before you think that's crazy, how many people have eaten those cheese crackers with the peanut butter in the middle?
This is true.
Oh, true.
This is true.
Most are. Hey, I've been in a mental institution, Pete, so you're not far off there.
Hey, man, I had the free lunch, dude, when I was a kid.
Shout out to Natividad Hospital for putting me on 5250 for 3 weeks.
5150, bro.
5150 is a 72-hour hold.
Okay.
I was there for 3 weeks. By the way,
that's why it's a chew, dog.
That's a commitment to excellence.
There's no nets. There's no nets on the ping pong table on the psych ward. I'll just let you know that right now.
No shit. Yeah. It's just all like on the honor system, right?
It's just that fucking gap between the two fucking different leaks of the table. Oh shit, we're going to hell.
If they can't afford it, I mean shit. Yeah. So, okay, what I do want to ask you guys though, real quick is as far as like I'll follow this up with Kane. Is like as far as free agency,
you tell me where you fall, Pete. I defer to you on this.
Okay.
I was Corey Littleton all day, and that's where I agree with Kane. He was in the chat not too long ago. I think that was 2 episodes back. Him and Blake Martinez of the Packers. Corey Littleton plays for the Rams, for those who don't know. What I like about him, and I correlate it to the Super Bowl, look at those first 3 to 5, 6 pass plays by the Chiefs. They were all intermediate routes, either to a tight end or an outlet pass, because they had the back end covered up. And I'm like, motherfucker, what has killed us for the past 3 to 5 years? That shit. Corey Littleton and Blake Martinez would solve that for us. Like, dead serious. I don't care that I got to throw a gigantic bag of money at them. Well, I kind of do care about that.
I think we draft linebackers. I just think it comes in the later round. Let me throw this at you because Jen and I were talking about this earlier. You know, Josh Norman's now been released, and Byron Jones is going to be out there as a free agent. Do you think cornerback is on the shopping list for free agency right now for the Raiders? And if it is, of those two names, who do you go for? Yeah. Yeah.
I'd much rather buy
real quick, as you brought up Jay Gruden's name, did y'all see that fucking video of him?
Our coaches,
like out, he was out.
That's the whole video where he's smoking the joint and talking to Shorty.
Smoking joint, fucking like trying to hook up with some random chick at the bar, and they got him on tape. And you just see him catch eyes with the camera. He's like,
"Uh-oh." I believe you can, Pete.
Hey, man, I believe in you, dog.
No. Let me say this: if Jay can do it, then
Pete, are you at home right now?
I can be an NFL head coach. How about that?
Okay, I was just wondering if you were out on the road or what's going on, where you're headed next.
Come on. No. Yeah. What's up?
Do the shot.
What's heading next? I'm gonna throw this out there, and there's I'll probably end the call after this. There's a little. Would you mind if I did a little shout out real quick? All right, cool. Well, I'm gonna throw this all out here to the Pillagers, and just want to be known. Outside of free agency talk, outside of Raiders, whatever. So I'm a resident of the Northwest, like I've stated in my call before. But I'll tell y'all something.
You fam,
so
dog.
Recently, Alaska Airlines opened up to fly into Monterey International, and I'm originally from the 831.
Yeah, let's do that, man. We got to organize a meetup for that. And my lady lives down there in Marina. We should probably go to the Alvarado Street Brewing Company.
That would be dope. That would be dope.
That's a good meetup. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Alvarado's the up and comer, bro. They're putting out fucking delicious.
Oh no, they're both great. I like Monterey
all the time. They got a fucking amazing,
about 5 years ago,
roster over there.
They really do, man.
Yeah,
and that'd actually be pretty cool to get together.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I would fancy myself a local, but I need you to,
Wilder or Fury. I'm gonna go with Wilder, bro.
So. And one more thing before I leave y'all, Che. Wilder
Fury boxed the fucking shit out of him the last fight, and by all means, he probably should have won the fucking fight. Probably should have won the fight. The fact that he fucking rose like the goddamn Undertaker and fucking got up off the fucking like he should have probably he probably should have won that fight. But
I agree.
I don't know. I have this feeling that Wilder gets him this time. I have a feeling he's
like a phoenix.
That goddamn fucking punch from fucking hell.
That's straight right.
we just saw that fucking Ryan Garcia edited version of the knockout from this past weekend, and I feel like I see Fury flying through the air into the concrete like a goddamn. I think finish him.
He fled down on the spikes, man.
I think finishing that fight, Fury, maybe a disservice to him. I think he's giving us some false confidence going into this next fight. I think he's better off as an underdog going in here, and I don't think he feels like one right now.
No, you know what? He's actually said he.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think this. I think Wilder's going to come in and he's going to be a little bit more willing to engage early.
He would have a fucking. I don't know. I think he would.
I feel like the first fight he was. Hey man, this guy by all means he was the top heavyweight, right? Even though he had that hiatus or whatever, the motherfucker had good boxing skills. He's real slick and whatnot for his size. And I think I think Wilder was just kind of like, okay, let me see what this guy got. And then he tried to hit him with a couple punches. He hit him, and then all of a sudden the dude was still there, and he's like, okay, this shit's weird. This is different. And I think that kind of fucking threw him off for a little bit. But I think this one, he's going to come in a little bit more fucking angry. And I think he's... And the bad thing is that Fury has been talking about, coming off coming into that fight and saying like, you know what, I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to go fucking toe to toe. I'm going to fucking throw some fucking. I can knock people out too. And the fact that he's saying that now, that could just be show, and that could just be trying to set up a trap for Wilder. Mm-hmm. But if he really actually does that,
that's a mistake.
That's a fucking mistake.
I think Fury needs to concentrate on getting through the 7th round. I think if he can get that far, then the fight can swing in his favor. But other than that, you're just setting Wilder up to do what he wants to do. But let me tell you, when that straight's coming down the pike, you see all your dead relatives on the front of that glove. I swear to God.
Bro.
Yeah. Yo, what up?
Bro.
We out here.
Wilder guys is
at the gate saying what's up.
That fucking punch that Wilder guys is fucking fueled by his ancestors, bro. Like, that motherfucker guys the anger of fucking millions of people in that one right hand, bro. I'm just telling you, that motherfucker cocks that bitch. You in trouble, son. Like that shit touches you anywhere in your face, you going down.
What's the Wilder meme that's always out there? Till this day.
Till this day. That's right. I fucks with Wilder, man. I fucks with Wilder.
Yeah.
He's my kind of people, dog.
This is a big fight. This is bringing excitement back to boxing. Everyone's like, what the hell? This turned into a boxing podcast? Hey, we're big fight fans over here, in case you didn't know. And your boy right here is really getting back into it heavy.
Well, it's because we've all had a fight in the parking lot before, dog.
That's right. Pete, man, thanks for calling in, dog. It's good to talk to you live, man.
Hell yeah.
All right, man.
That's what's up, Pete.
Hit me up in the DM, or you know what? I'll shoot you my number, dog, and we'll contact you like that. Okay, just give us a heads up when you're coming through, and we'll lock it down. All right, brother. Peace out.
Peace.
Gone.
That was a great call, man.
That was a good call. Yeah, 2 great calls.
Hey, well, there's a reason why he has the award of a Nesty. He's a Nesty holder, dog.
Right. Mr. Nesty Time.
Mr.
You know what's funny is that when we were going to talk about the defensive nasties, I was like, defensive nasties? I was like, oh, shit. I was like, I know a lot of guys up in this motherfucker, dude.
By the way, maybe this is off the air conversation, but I haven't figured out how to get this third mic through to the phone calls. I have no idea why that doesn't work. So he could not hear you, and that reminded me that's been a problem in the past for us before. Before we were using these mics, I thought it was the old style mic.
I just figured it was my ESL mic, dude. Like Chet had to translate for me, dog.
Yeah. You're on that dual band network.
What Bobby really said was,
let's do some shout outs, guys. It's 9:56 here Pacific Standard Time in the Crow's Nest. So let's wrap this up at 10 o'clock and edit, and then we'll go shoot the shit downstairs. I feel a Street Fighter battle, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, shit.
I don't know. Let's do some shout outs. On Twitter, shout out to Raider Nation Nate, Ryan Storar, Brian Trayer, Raider Lakers Zach, Chauncey Garcia, Zachary Shank, James Richardson, Ed Bautista, Matthew S. McGill, Isaiah Maldonado, Grim Metal, Zion Raider, Naam Mayes, Tatiana, Stephen Booth, EP, TP Nelson, Stony Tat, shout out to Stony, shout out to Storm Vader, Raider Broom, Andrew Glover, Poncho G, Alex Eggert, Inadequate Time, Jarrett Dunlap, Eddie C408, Tanner Jacob, Derek Bortles, Troy Meacham, JNA Dominguez, Manny Fresh 222, Raider Solania, Brad Whitson, Caleb Blair, Raider J, Voodoo Man, Clay Dew, is Isael Diaz, The Real Abu, That Boy Nick, Rhino, Haris, I don't know how to say that. Jerry's, I'm not sure. LA Roman 97 and Ryan Dodge on Twitter, on YouTube, Infamous Blaster and Jared Riesland. Thanks for the follow. Some big shout outs to Jalen Davenport, Richard Lacassi, Patrina Satfield. You've been very generous, Patrina. You're a new listener to the show. Hopefully our voices are getting through your morning commute. We love you, Patrina. Shout out to Mark Soto, Mark Zamora, and B.D. Williams, who could not make it on tonight, but I've been in communication with him. He is on the East Coast, so there was just a time frame mix-up. B.D. Williams will be joining us next week if we should get on the air, and I don't see why not. We got these brackets to take care of.
That's right.
Che, you got some IG?
I got one, man. We got one follower this week.
Cool.
It was a slow week. Okay. Mm-hmm. But shout out to Bay Area Raider Santo Garcia 777.
I love it. And shout out to Edit Out Society, and shout out to my man Bobby Wasabi right here. Edit Out Society is doing some cut ups of this 3-hour show. We're gonna get some smaller clips for you guys. That's gonna go out on your YouTube channel, and some even smaller clips to go out on social media. So shout out to Edit Out Society, and shout out to Bobby for going through the podcast again the day after and getting him the timestamps for that. And for that, Bobby, and for all that you have done, I do have a special gift for you right now that I'd like to present on behalf of Che and myself here at the Pillaging Podcast.
What?
So let's open that up.
Pop that bitch up.
I can't wait to see your
for the listeners out there. It's a small little box right here, a small little brown box.
We like small brown boxes.
It says, well, I'm a small brown guy, so it kind of fits perfect.
So you're saying you like small brown boxes, bro?
And it says XL Grinder at expressiontees.com. And
what it really is a Gruden grinder.
The official
Gruden grinder. Look at that. A Gruden grinder. Bam. Oh, dog.
Bobby, for being the true Gruden grinder on the show, that's for you, dog.
Appreciate you, dude, fellas. Thank you very much.
For having the balls to come up and have a beer with a couple of strangers, to having the balls to come inside my house.
Hey, man.
And then having the balls to get on the motherfucking mic.
Shit, dude. Well, how could I not just hang out with my homies?
That's what's up.
There ain't no mic when I'm with my homies.
Yeah, that's it.
The mic just happens to be there.
This is true. This is just happens to be in the same room as what's going on right here between the three of us.
That's it.
We have good fucking times up in here, man.
This is badass, yo. Straight out. Thank you so much.
It's got the keep screen and all that, so hopefully that does you well. Let's get off the air and go break that puppy in.
Hell yeah.
Let's do that.
Let's do that.
All right.
I got something.
But yeah, I found that they do custom grinders, and that's the image. You like that Gruden image? Is that a good image?
Fuck yeah, dude. That's right, dog. Look at that. See, everybody right there, listeners. You got your main man Gru right there with the fist pump.
Yeah.
That's right, dog. It's either a fist pump or it's about to, hit somebody in the face, and that's me right there.
So that's it for this week's show. Make sure you tune in every week wherever podcasts are found. Call in, leave a message to be played on air at 408-909-PJFF. Phone lines are always open. Download the official Pillaging app, available for iOS or Android. Maybe discontinued soon. We'll see. Again, shout out to DC4LCustomTees.com and OneNationFanwear.com. Your hand-selected garment, fan favorite choice, OneNationFanwear.com. Feel free to donate to the show, paypal.me/PJ4F, where you can donate right here in the live chat. Be sure to listen to our network partners, the Put on Waivers podcast, East Coast Nation podcast, the Fan Club Blitz, the Inebriation podcast, the Blackout, the Laser Darkness, and No Ledge on hiatus right now. And of course, the Crow's Nest, which will be coming back to you very soon. Until then, keep the wind in your sails and the rum in your mug. Pillage on, Raider Nation. This has been a production of the Crow's Nest Podcast Network. I'm Kenny Stapler, joined as always
by your boy Che
and Bobby Wasabi.
We out here.
Peace.
Go Raiders.
Like a freight train coming, you're blowing the town.